Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Hi, good morning. It is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. And, of course, once again, he told us he's got a busy day ahead of him, so he had to come in early. Good to see our friend Drew Forrester. Know you're excited, pal. It's PGA Championship week. Who you got? I also know you're a big Caps guy, so I'm sure you're a little bit worried. I get it. I know you, existential dread guy. And hey, you did say you hated the idea of facing Darcy Kemper. Like, I do get it. What's your thoughts going into Game 5? Now, who would they face next?
Carolina.
Carolina.
Which would not be a great matchup for them. First of all, if they wear those black jerseys with the red hurricane flag,
Everybody always
you're
says
in
that.
trouble.
Have they won those? I've thought that for some time.
And I don't
They
like
did.
the matchup. Brendan
onto
Moore's had
something.
success against the Caps. I don't like Kemper's the story coming back,
God, it's killed him,
playing
right?
his old
It's
team
killed him.
after they gave
It's
up
been
on
rough,
him.
man.
I don't like it. I don't like it, I say.
Anyway, yeah, Drew said he'd be here. So we went ahead and we planned the rest of the show because, again, he said he was coming in for the first hour of the show. So we'll see how that goes. I never know. I never know. Good morning. It is Glenn Clark Radio. Hi. The Orioles didn't play last night, so they didn't lose. That's back-to-back. That's 3 straight days without an Orioles loss.
It's been a pretty. Yeah,
I've
I've enjoyed it.
Might be a record for the season if I really thought
3
about
straight
it.
days without a loss.
Yeah, I can't remember a time they've done that this year, but they've done that. So we've got that going for us, which is nice. Yeah, Drew's going to join us allegedly.
That was the impression he gave me. Yeah.
It's the impression that I get. Do 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 do. Never had to, but I'm gonna knock on wood. Drew's allegedly going to join us in studio. Also, a little bit later on in the program, Daniel Kelly, University of Maryland. They're getting ready to face Georgetown. His brother played at Georgetown a couple years ago. Jacob, right? Yeah, he was at Georgetown after he was at Carolina. Wonder who he's rooting for on Sunday. We'll talk to Daniel Kelly about the quarterfinal matchup for Maryland in the NCAA lacrosse tournament. Also, Danny Coulombe. It's a day for. I was about to say something. I can think of a better way to say it. I was about to say it's a great day for D's.
Well, the thing is, they're all Dan, so.
Except Drew. Drew's also a D.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So it's all of them are D's.
Well, yeah, but we don't need to acknowledge him.
Yeah, Daniel Kelly, and they all go by different versions
Yeah,
of Dan,
Dan,
right?
yeah.
Daniel Kelly, Danny Coulombe is slated to join us. You might have remember him. He was very good, and then the Orioles just said, we're good.
He's still pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's very good. Arguably even better.
Yeah.
And the Orioles
There
are
are
like,
2 pitchers that haven't given up an earned run this season.
huh? Who's the other? I don't know.
You want to guess?
No.
Andres Munoz from
I
the
don't know.
Mariners.
We could have been here for a year. I don't know that I would have named Andres Munoz. Anyway, yeah, Danny Coulombe's going to join us before the Orioles do play their doubleheader against the Twins, his new team, this afternoon. Or one game this. God, split doubleheaders are the pits, man. Also, imagine being a baseball player.
Well, this is a single admission one, right?
Is it single admission?
That's what I thought. Well, they're starting the next game half an hour after.
No, they're playing a night game.
I thought they were doing
No, they
12,
didn't move.
12
They
and
didn't-
3:30 was like the estimated times.
then they moved the time for Game 2. Game 2 was not tomorrow. They had an afternoon game scheduled.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I don't know why they moved up the Game 2 time for today. Like why they?
Yeah,
moved it
that
from
doesn't make
6.
any sense at all.
I guess because it's a day game tomorrow. I don't know what the.
Yeah, that doesn't. I mean,
I'm pretty sure is that not what they're doing? I thought it was a single admission, like they called it a
all right,
traditional
if
double.
it is, then it's certainly not. Well, I don't know if is a traditional doubleheader or a single admission.
I think so, because a traditional doubleheader, when you think about it, is like they play the one game and then
Right.
I
don't know why
they play the next game.
Okay, once upon a time, doubleheaders were split.
Always 12 and 6 or
No, it was split
1 and
admission,
7.
so you could get because you could sell tickets to 2 different games.
Right. Which I assumed that I thought they would do.
Why would they move the second game? What about the people that had tickets for the game tonight?
Well, they said they can use them sometime else.
Did they? I don't.
They did,
I don't
yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
They did.
I'm just
This
looking at
was all
the-
like yesterday at like 3:00 when they
All right.
originally.
All right, that's way better than
postponed it.
way better than a normal
A split.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
those are the pits.
Yeah.
The pits. And why are they not announcing that Cade Povich is pitching today?
I guess because they're gonna have to use 6 pitchers this week, right? So
But what again? Why are they not announcing the Cade Povich? Why would one of them not be Cade Povich?
well, because they already said Dean Kramer is the other one.
Right, that's fine. He's starting the first game. I understand that. Why are they not saying that Cade Povich is starting the second game?
They can just bump everybody back another day, maybe. I don't
Wait,
know.
you're still not answering. What? Who would pitch? No, he didn't.
You didn't hear?
I know.
For Aaron Judge.
Oh, well.
You all right with that? Now you're.
Let me think about
now
it.
you're whining and all of a
Let me
sudden-
think about it. You're not answering the question. Why would they not announce Cade Povich as the game
Well,
2 starting
strategy.
pitcher? What does that mean?
Strategy.
Are they saying that they want him to be available
You're
to pitch
clearly
out of the?
not- You didn't know who Andres Munoz was. You're clearly not a baseball guy.
It's great.
You
It's
wouldn't-
clearly
you
what
wouldn't
it
get
is. I wouldn't understand. And I ask for a 5th time. Why would they not announce Cade Povich as the starting pitcher?
Well,
of
I
the
mean,
game
I'm
two?
going to answer it if you want to know the truth.
Please,
You want the honest truth?
by all means.
It's none of your business.
There we go. Thank you.
It really isn't. They're trying to win a baseball game.
What the hell does that have to do
Are
with
they?
anything?
Well, yeah,
Yesterday,
actually.
yesterday they announced Cade Povich was starting today.
And Tiger Simeon Woods was the
Yeah,
other guy, right?
yeah.
Or whatever his
Then-
name is.
Then they changed the schedule, and suddenly Cade Povich wasn't starting.
He's starting the nightcap.
What am I? They're not announcing that,
They will.
What
but
if
they had previously.
But it's none of your business.
You keep saying.
What if they change their mind?
What does that do?
Maybe you're gonna start.
We got a match today, and I can't be here long.
Oh,
I should have begged off. But I wanted to be here with you guys.
Would have been terrible.
No, I wanted to be here with you guys.
Thank God you didn't do
We
that.
have,
What
we
would
have,
we
a, and
done?
the match got moved to 1:30. So now,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Did you do the game last night?
No, I didn't do last.
You didn't call last night?
I didn't do last night. I'm not
What was
doing
the
that
Spalding
Friday
Boys
night.
Latin final?
12-6, I think.
Oh,
Something
okay,
like that.
so blowout. All right.
You nervous for the match? You're playing a match. today. Come on,
right.
wait,
I don't know. Well, I mean,
What the
Battery's
hell?
done.
I think anytime
Hey.
you're in a one and done, you're always nervous because, yeah, sure.
I give up.
No, I mean, I didn't know what you meant. We were talking lacrosse. You changed the subject on me.
What the hell do I care about that? You just came in here.
Yeah.
talking-
I mean,
you,
I'm not
yeah,
nervous,
I changed
but-
the subject.
I'm not
You
nervous,
changed
but
the subject.
you got to play well. It's one.
Is this the championship?
It's the semifinal.
Semifinal.
Yeah.
Are you guys still undefeated?
No, we lost our last match at
Oh, okay.
at McDonough.
You good?
So,
You glad to get that out of the way?
truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
a little
I
bit.
thought so.
I mean,
Get it out of the way now.
There definitely was it was an interesting development because
Tell me the truth. Did you play all the best guys? Or
we
you-
did. We did.
All right.
And the reason we did is as the season went on, look, we never we have a good team. There's no question. Obviously, we were 11-1. We had the best record by far, but we had a good team. But I don't know that we ever really envisioned going 12-0. It's hard to do that. You're playing on foreign golf courses. It's just difficult, right? But as the season went on, we got to 6-0, the halfway point, and we're like, now you got to get to 7 to make the playoffs. We did that. Then all of a sudden we wanted to get to 9 to get home field. We got that. Now you're 9-0, and I kind of said to the guys, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to try to finish undefeated? Yeah, we're going to finish undefeated. So I kind of left it up to them. And in my mind, I was fine with it either way. And we just didn't play well last Thursday, and I do think as the matches went on, I do think it bogged us down a little. There was a little bit of relief from it at the end. we just didn't play very well last Thursday. We were in it the whole time. We only lost by 3 points, which in golf is nothing.
Now he's like doing a coach. Now he's doing like a press conference.
Well, you asked him.
I know, but I wanted one answer.
Okay, we're good for today. What do you need?
That's what I was looking.
You go back to bitching about Kate Povich now. Did
It
you
just-
see? Did
it
you watch
just
the basketball?
makes no sense.
Can we get to the important stuff?
Hang on.
Hanging on the rim.
Rock Kabako tweeted an hour ago. Chase McDermott's on the taxi squad, so I guess that's they use Chase McDermott and
That's so that
the
they
game
can
too, so they
can
can
be the
save-
27th man or
Yes,
whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
So then I guess they would just push Povich to Friday. I guess I don't know.
Whatever. All right.
So that way, because they need 6 starting pitchers this week.
But that part I don't understand either. They didn't play yesterday, so they have yesterday's
Well,
starting
they're
pitcher.
playing 6 games in 5 days now.
Right, but they didn't. Nobody pitched yesterday.
Well, yeah, but they were gonna. So if Povich
Right.
had pitched yesterday, he would have pitched Sunday. He would have been on schedule to pitch Sunday. Now,
Oh, you're saying on Sunday they need
Yeah.
a starter. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Follow
there
along
you-
with the guy that knows
Thank you.
baseball.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you,
Sure.
Drew.
Get there.
Did you watch the basketball game last night?
Which one?
Denver, Oklahoma City.
I did. What part of it?
Did you see the shot
Oh, Jokic.
that
Jesus
maniac hit at the end of the game?
Wild.
Yeah.
Was that Iron Eagle
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
on that call?
Yep. Oh,
When he threw the ball up,
Right.
I'm like, everybody thinks this guy's a great player,
Yeah.
huh? And then it went in. I
So-
was like, oh
so
my God.
the wildest part about it is he had no interest in taking. He's looking for help. It's going nowhere. He's picked
Right.
up his dribble. He doesn't have a choice here.
Right.
He's desperate for help, but there's 3 seconds left on the shot
I'll
clock.
just throw it up.
They're down by 3, and he just says, I guess, right? And just tosses the ball in the air. And
It was
perfect.
unreal.
Perfect. Now, when that happened, I said, all right, well, I guess Denver's winning this and winning this series. I was actually wondering in that moment where the odds had gone, because the odds we had seen yesterday were like the Thunder were minus 150 to win the title, and the Nuggets were like plus 1,400, and we're like, what the hell?
Who was the woman doing the in-game interviews?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, my
much
gosh.
attention.
Do you wanna hear
I
the
mean,
shot,
they
or-
totally tortured her last night. And they weren't doing it on purpose. They weren't doing like the old Popovich skit. They just had zero interest in talking to her during the game.
Understandably.
Oh,
so.
my gosh. And when she asked Williams dude from Oklahoma City, she's like, they've been using a couple different zone looks on you. How you guys going to defeat that in the fourth quarter? He's like, well, I don't know. Be more aggressive. She goes, okay, well, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
He goes, yep. Like,
None of these guys want to do those.
oh, of course.
None of them.
Not in the game.
Yeah, right?
Well,
None
they
of
add
them
so much
have
to the
any.
broadcast.
I'm playing a game here,
right?
right? It's
Like
like the
that-
old Bill Burr skit when he's at the movies and they're talking about cancer. He's like, I'm watching a movie here, right? Like,
I'm not here to donate money. What are we doing?
I'm watching a movie here.
Trying to watch a movie, for
Right,
God's sakes.
Right.
Why are we wasting all of our material? Would you hit the music, please? With this guy in here giving away the material before we do the big segment. Come on, man. It's time for Hanging on the Rim. Hanging on the Rim is brought to you by County Sports Zone. If you do want to find out what happened last night, how Spalding and Calvert Hall punched their tickets to Friday night's MIAA Conference Championship game, you can find out more right now by going to countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Here he is, the host of Hanging on the Rim, our NBA expert. Nothing gets past this man. He is Drew Forrester.
All right. So what I want you to do as we get started on this is I want you to find 100 marbles. And they can all be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Every marble can be the same.
Uh-huh.
And then I want you to find one marble that's totally different.
Ah, yes.
That's definitely different.
right.
That you could look at and go,
Mm-hmm.
that marble is different than the other 99 marbles.
Like perhaps that marble is purple and the other marbles are white.
Correct. And I want you to put them all in a bag. You
Yep.
can turn the music down there, Cap. They put them.
We like the music.
You put them all in a bag,
Uh-huh.
and you can shake the bag up. You can do whatever you want with the bag.
Right.
Shake the bag up,
Yeah.
and I want you to reach your hand in the
And then
bag
see if you can pull out that
and see if you
purple-
can pull out
that purple
the
marble.
purple one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to guess probably not.
Because that's what happened in the draft lottery Tuesday night.
Well,
or Monday night.
allegedly happened. That's what
Right.
allegedly happened.
Anyway, on the court, upsets abound as the Timberwolves are taking care of the curryless
That's not really an upset. That one.
Golden State Warriors, 3-1 in that one, about to finish it off tonight. Last night, Indiana eliminating Cleveland, 4-1.
Of course. And who missed the free throws? Who missed 3 straight free throws in the fourth quarter? The chance to get them back within one possession?
LeBron?
Yes. It's a better bit when I just ask you to name the players and team. Here we go. Name 3 Pacers.
Reggie Miller?
Uh-huh.
Mark Jackson?
Uh-huh.
And the Big Smits guy, whatever his name
Rick
used
Smits,
to be.
very
Big
good.
Smits,
Well,
whatever his-
Big Smits.
Whatever his name
Yeah.
was. Smits Creek.
There you go.
Anyway,
You almost
so
named 3 Pacers.
4-1 final there. Indiana wins shockingly
yes.
over the Cavaliers as they are
Back-to-back years.
Cavalier no more.
That's
The
dynamite.
Celtics about ready to get eliminated by the Knickerbockers. Jason Tatum's ankle.
Be very careful with how you say that.
Yeah, right.
Be very careful.
Jason Tatum's ankle still in New York, or is it in Boston? Where
It's his Achilles.
his Achilles?
Yeah.
Man, that was nasty.
Yeah, it was not.
It was almost like the Cabrera. What happened to everybody's feet this week?
Not great.
Rex Ryan would be thrilled. Anyway, so 3-1. The Knicks are up on the Celtics. And then out west, last night, OKC was okay in the fourth quarter.
There we go.
As they rolled past the Nuggets, and they are up 3-2 out in the
All
Western
right,
Conference.
so it looks like it's going to be Pacers-Knicks in the Eastern Conference Final. Give me your full breakdown of Pacers-Knicks.
I mean, they both have good teams,
Right?
and
They're in the conference. Well,
and I would say this: I don't know what they did against each other in the regular season,
great
but
point. They probably played each other twice.
but they probably but they're both good. And I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
you want to know the truth? It could go either way.
could go either way, really.
I could see this one. I could see the Knicks winning for sure,
Right.
Because they had a really good regular season.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I could see the Pacers too. They could go either
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Because the Pacers are the hot team right now, right?
Right?
So
And then also, you got to keep in mind, right? Like, this has been.
here's what I would say
For
the
them-
Pacers are. The Pacers are Katy Perry.
Now, wait a second.
They're hotter than you think they are
I
because they try not to be.
I don't know that that's. I don't even know that people think that about Katy Perry.
Okay, well, anyway.
I think they just think she's hot.
Okay. But she's having an issue with her dancing,
Oh?
apparently.
I wasn't
People are very
aware.
upset with her
Not.
and her dancing.
This could probably be from like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Whatever.
100%.
No, it's current.
Drew saw it on the internet recently, which means it
No,
could have
no,
happened
no.
in
It's
2007.
very current. They're very angry with Katy Perry.
Say so.
So anyway, that's your update.
Yeah.
We'll get to shaved ice
Now, your thoughts on the draft lottery? Do you believe it's rigged?
I don't know, man. And I said this yesterday at Drew's Morning Dish. I am not a conspiracy theorist. The whole 9/11 thing where the planes weren't really the planes and all that other garbage that all these people talk about.
Sure.
Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist in general. That looked very suspicious the other night. It just did. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be honest.
You know, everybody seems to think that was the promise that was made to the Mavericks.
Right.
You give up your great
Why
player.
would they have given that big fat guy away who scores
Right.
35 points a game?
Right? That big fat guy.
I
Exactly
mean,
right.
be honest.
And his name
Is he taking the fat shot, by the way?
Yeah, the fat
Did you
shot. Right, the fat shot. It's not working. It's not working.
He said, my buddy's taking the fat shot. It's not working.
What do you think Elon Musk thought?
I
as
have
he
no
was watching
idea.
that?
I
What do you
thought he
think
was talking about Chris Christie, honestly.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
I don't think that he would describe Chris Christie in such glowing
But he
terms.
said, my buddy taking the fat shot. All the overweight folks in the country who have benefited greatly from Ozempic are like, honey, am I fat?
Right.
Moron.
I mean,
Sorry.
that's the thing.
You're right.
That's the one.
Sorry about
Like,
that. Sorry, Don.
That's the moment where all of a sudden, like, I was good with everything right up until that.
Until you said Ozempic was for
The
fat
fat
people.
shot,
And
yeah.
then I was pissed off with you.
Yeah, right.
Put a tariff on that.
That's the one.
All right, anyway. Lord.
So you think it was rigged?
I just think there's too much there to not suggest
I mean, here's
that
the
there
question.
wasn't a wink wink.
Even if it's rigged, why don't you broadcast it? This is an honest question, right? Like, even if you're rigging it, you can still rig it so that, like, we see the ping pong ball, right? Like, you can still do that. Why don't you broadcast it?
So you're saying that contributes to the theory?
Yes, 100% it contributes to the theory.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened in this. Like, they could have gotten it once, didn't like the result, and said, tell you what, do it again.
Yeah.
We all did that in a radio contest over the years.
Well, your
right?
back wasn't turned.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was looking. Well, yeah, no, the rules say you got to have your back turned when you pull the balls out. Do it again. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
But
It just
we've
looks-
all, like, at some point in a radio contest, pulled a winner and said, that guy wins too much. Or
sure.
something like that. And said it was for, you know, a a
Sure,
Morrissey CD. It
Yeah,
wasn't for
right,
anything
right.
significant. We were just like, let's just pull it.
Bite your tongue.
Let's just pull somebody else out of the. We don't want to
You
get.
Are the Quarry was a hell of an album.
Thank you. That guy's won 15 times. We want to find somebody who's never won before.
Right. Please turn that
terms
music
of
down.
who
It's
won
driving me
this.
nuts.
This is your segment.
What's
I know it
gotten
is,
into
but
you?
the
This is your
But
music.
what's gotten into
We've
you?
segue. I don't know. I'm agitated about the match. And you know what I've
You're on
discovered?
edge.
My dog Knox has definitely developed a anxiety issue with the rain.
Well,
So we've
yeah,
had to
most
get
dogs do.
We've had to get, but rain, not storms.
Yeah, I think
Just rain in general.
I understand the storms. So you're saying the dog.
We
does,
got him the happy hoodie,
right.
which you used to wear
Yes,
back in high
100%
school,
in order to.
but
yeah,
not quite
yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
But
It's different than that hoodie that you would wear that for some reason was all white.
yeah,
I
right.
can't Figure
But-
out what that.
So we
was.
got him the happy hoodie, and we also got him the dope that we give him, and he's still
Right.
anxious.
Right.
I've developed the same thing.
Oh yeah.
When
So
it
now
rains,
you put the hoodie.
I'm a
and you-
complete prick. I don't know why. I just can't stand it when it rains.
I can't stand the rain.
I don't know why.
Hey,
Did you hear the guy from The Alarm died?
no, I didn't. know
Mike
that.
Peters?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
How about that?
right,
Sad,
anyway.
sad, right?
Let's get to shaved ice.
Sad. This is Mike Francesa. Whenever somebody dies,
you
go
don't
ahead.
know?
Try it again.
And he
Go,
doesn't
yeah,
know.
tell me
You
about
heard
it.
the guy from The Alarm died, right? Mike Peters?
Who?
Mike Peters, The Alarm.
Who the hell is that?
Aren't you happy when it rains or whatever that song was
Oh,
called?
who the hell cares? Don in Queens, you're up next.
Mike A. Hey, Mike A. What's up? Hey, Mike. You know they got that problem over there with the Madison Square Garden. We're showing all these replays.
Right?
Yeah.
God. there is a reel of him just reacting to deaths, and it's amazing.
Dude, in our lifetime, he's a
amazing.
top 5 American icon.
I don't know
if
about
we-
that.
yeah.
Let's settle down.
Oh,
on
if
all
we
of that.
started the list,
as far as
who's got more material?
your
Who's got more material? Trump? Trump might, but
yeah, but we've all checked out on it. That's the problem.
But
the
Francesca's
Trump stuff
got-
doesn't even register anymore.
Francesca's stuff is timeless.
Yeah.
I could if you every day I came in.
Oh, I know.
If
I had
you
a
started
different-
the show
a different clip.
with
You're
the
right.
hey Mike A.
Mike A.
I would listen to it and laugh the same way I did the first time I heard it.
When Frank Robinson dies, you got to start the show with Frank Robinson. Love him or hate him, and I hated him. He was a son of a bitch.
I love it. Like it, and here's the best part. He gets in his car. His guy picks him up because he doesn't drive.
Yeah.
His guy picks him up and goes, "Mike, how was the show?" He goes, "Got him again.
Yeah, killed him again today. There's a reason why I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Got him again." Hey, did I tip you last week?
He did less.
No, Mike.
He
you
did
didn't.
less prep than you and I.
Oh, it wasn't even. Actually, we look like professionals.
right?
No,
Like we tried
no
in
doubt.
comparison.
no doubt.
We,
No question.
We would talk
We actually, from September to November, we did try.
a little bit, yeah.
A
little bit.
After February, we didn't.
Yeah, we checked
neither
out
did the
again for a
team.
little while.
Neither did the baseball
We
team.
said, who are we going to fight with today in
Yeah.
order to try to get people to pay attention to the
There's a
show?
high school doing a basketball game up in-
Done. We got a week's worth of content.
I
out
think
of
that was our.
Let's fight with Molesky today.
I think that was our Mona Lisa.
Oh, that? Oh, there's no way there's nothing that we could have done
That was our Mona Lisa.
that would have got.
Were you with me when we did the Peter Edgelow's trial?
No, I was
Steve
not.
Davis
I was,
called me and said he drove
Yeah.
off the road.
Yeah, I was not there. For
Okay,
that.
you weren't part of that.
I was also not there for the April Fool's
Oh,
incident.
right. Well, the
Yeah,
April
I
Fool's thing might have been the station Mona Lisa, other than being positive. But our definite Mona Lisa was the thing where we extracted 4 days out of the thing at North
There's
Hartford.
nothing going on. We had nothing to talk about. Nothing.
It was the best.
You were about to do a week's worth of like previewing the Hartford Open.
Right.
My God, what I would have to do to try to veer Drew back to like, no, we're not just
Well,
talking
the Orioles
about
were 27 and
the
56.
Shell Houston Open today. We're not going to break down.
Which one? The one Jeff Maggart won?
Thank you. Well, we found out he didn't. I don't remember that.
No, right.
Found that out later.
Right.
He lost in a playoff, which is a real shame. That's sad for Jeff Maggart.
Mike A. Hey, what's up?
God.
Just watching those replays.
Love
You
him.
know,
or-
like they fall asleep. A sleepy Floyd. You know, Akeem the Dream.
Hey,
Let's see how many of those.
Mike, Stan Lee died. What do you think about it? Who?
Oh my
Who
God.
the hell is that? Mike, he invented the Marvel comic. Who cares?
I love it.
It's the best.
All right, shaved
All right,
ice.
hit the other. Yep, let's go. Hit the other music. It's time. Shaved Ice is brought to you by the print issue of Press Box, which is available at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. Read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. The Hard Road Back is the cover story. Felix Bautista, Tyler Wells, Kyle Bradish, all working their way back from major elbow surgery.
Working my way back to you, babe.
You are
Spinners?
No, the
Ross?
Four Seasons. You are in a weird place on match day.
Well, it's
Really?
raining.
You really
Me and Knox. I need the happy hoodie.
to get that.
Cover my ears.
Griffin, can you run out and grab your vape pen, please? You don't mind.
All right.
I need to let him
So
in.
let's get the shaved ice. Lots going on. A lot of it not good for the Capitals,
Right.
who play tomorrow night at home. They gave the Caps one extra day to prepare for getting beat.
That's nice.
They will play tomorrow night at home against the Carolina Hurricanes. If Carolina wears the black shirts with the red hurricane waving flag, forget it.
Now, how many of the games have they won those in?
At least the first home game,
Okay.
right? At least that
You're
one.
asking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have not watched.
But Caps are in trouble. They're doing what they always do. They're failing to score, and that winds up haunting them. And it's kind of what I said at the beginning of the series. They just don't score in the playoffs. So they're in trouble. They got to win tomorrow night, and then they got to go back to Carolina. And you already know how this is going to go.
You know, you want my analysis.
You already know what's going to happen.
I got some analysis for you. Got to get more pucks on you. Just
There you
gotta get more
Yeah,
pucks on you.
Here's what's going to happen. You already know, if you're a Capitals fan, what's going to happen. They're going to win tomorrow night 3-1. They'll go to Carolina, and it'll be very impressive. It'll be like 4-1, total domination, and then they'll come home and lose 3-2 in overtime in Game 7. That's what they always do.
Just to suck
right?
all the life out of it, right?
Last night, the team that's probably going to wind up winning the Stanley Cup, and it might not even be close, Dallas, up 3-1 now
loaded.
over Winnipeg as they win 3-1 at home.
I was a Winnipeg man.
And,
What the hell happened there?
They are
Hell of luck forgot
Dallas.
to play goalie.
Dallas is flying, and I would say right now, if you were going to, I don't know what the odds are, but they're winning. They're winning the cup. Tonight, huge game tonight in Toronto, where the Maple Leafs, who have not won a playoff series since Obama was the
They
president.
won the
They
first.
won a week ago.
I mean, like a meaningful. They haven't been to the final.
Okay.
Sorry.
There we go.
They play tonight at home against Florida. Florida escaped with 2 wins. The Maple Leafs, if they lose this series, will rue the Game 3 overtime chances that they missed. And Florida is rolling. Florida is very tough.
How's the owner of the Panthers doing that?
Yeah, something happened there, right?
Sheesh.
What was that all about?
Yeah.
I only caught part of that.
Kind of went off.
Okay.
Kind of lost his mind. It's apparently not the majority owner. It's a minority.
It's a minority owner.
Named Doug Sifu.
Okay.
And just kind of
About the refs?
no, like just got into a fight with fans.
Oh, gotcha.
Like
Hey,
with
that happens.
with like over nothing, and it turned into being about Hamas or being about
geez.
it just got.
Well, the Maple Leafs are really pressed now. Florida's coming, and if they don't win this game tonight, they're in big trouble. I'm kind of rooting for the Maple Leafs. I like those historical stories where teams haven't won in a gazillion years. I'd like the Maple Leafs to win, but it ain't looking so good. But Carolina looks like they've found their groove. So, here's where we are. Winnipeg.
So you like Carolina, Dallas as the final?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
You like Florida does?
No, I don't.
Well, then what do you like?
Edmonton.
I do.
What the hell is
I think
going?
Edmonton is going to beat them. Even though
You just said that they.
I know.
What the hell just
I
happened?
think Edmonton's going to beat them.
You just told people to put money on.
Are they gonna
Dallas
stop
winning
ranting?
the
Well, I
cup.
did that so that I could put money on Edmonton.
Sway the market.
I like Edmonton. I do want to see Connor McDavid win a ring at some point. He's the Patrick Cantlay of the NHL.
That's what everybody's on the
Is it?
streets. They're talking about it all. Everywhere they go.
Are we doing any PGA stuff today or not?
I mean, you can tell me you think it's going to win.
I think Scheffler's going to win. I really do.
Really going out on a limb.
Yeah,
there.
no, I do. I
Really,
do.
really going crazy. I got a real off the wall pick. Didn't you pick him to win the Masters too?
I did not. I picked.
Oh, you picked him to win whatever the golf tournament was that you wanted to talk about last night.
I think he's going to win, and I'm very bullish on Daniel Berger.
Yes, whoever that is.
So,
Sure.
anyway, that's
You doing
shaved
the radio,
ice.
You doing the radio show on Sunday?
This Sunday?
Yeah. During the final round of the PGA Championship.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey. Is that
doing it. Yep.
good for you?
So that was shaved ice and shaved
And
greens.
shaved greens. There you go. You can't if you're at the Masters, you're not allowed to say that.
That's correct.
You better
Bikini
not
wax.
say
You'll get in
shaved
trouble.
greens. Better not do that.
You get in trouble.
All right, so there you go. That's the Drew Forrester trifecta
Nice.
here this morning. That's what we got.
Oh,
for
speaking
you.
of that, who do you got in the Preakness?
Journalism. I mean,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
goal
I'm
oriented.
taking the same horse I took in the Derby.
Okay, I don't know who that was.
Sandman.
Sandman.
I'm taking Sandman.
Exit.
How was
light.
the AC/DC
Like
concert?
introvert.
I didn't go.
You didn't go?
Okay.
Did you hear from anybody who went?
Uh,
AC/DC?
Lots of people went. I saw some videos. They still look like they could get
Aren't there
through
only
it.
two guys still alive in the band?
Well, I mean, like from the original band, yeah, because the other guy, what's his face's brother passed away. Angus still looks.
105.
I mean, but it's sort of like the Keith Richards. Like when I went to see the Stones last summer, they were like, "Hey, how'd they look?" I'm like, "Well, Keith Richards looked like shit, but that's no different than he did 40 years ago." So,
All
like,
right, so they played 2 nights ago.
mm-hmm.
2 nights ago? Monday night.
What are we doing here?
I'm going to read you.
I only
I'm
saw
gonna-
AC/DC one time.
I'm
I've
going
only
to
seen
read
him
you.
once.
Here was the set list.
Okay.
Okay.
Did they do Money Talks? So they didn't do Money Talks.
I'm gonna
when
get
I
to
saw
it.
'em. All right.
If You Want Blood, You've Got It was the opener,
that's pretty
which
good.
is an old Bon
Yeah,
Scott.
it's a pretty good
Yep.
opener.
Then they went to Back in Black.
Yeah.
Demon Fire. Don't know anything about that. Shot Down in Flames, which was
Mm-hmm.
on Highway to Hell, which was a great song. Thunderstruck, which is a later hit.
Mm-hmm.
Have a Drink on Me, which was from Back in Black, which
Mhm.
that whole album was unbelievable. Hell's Bells, which was from Back in Black. Shot in the Dark, thought that was an Ozzy Osbourne song.
No, that was one of their recent songs. It sounds exactly like every other AC/DC
Okay.
song, so you don't know. Like if you haven't listened to AC/DC in the last
Just put
20
that
years,
on?
and you just put that on, you'd be like, yeah, that sounds like it's from 1984.
Okay. Stiff Upper Lip, Highway to Hell, Shoot to Thrill, Sin City, which is one of my top 5 favorite AC/DC songs of all time, off of one of the most underrated albums ever in rock music, Powerage. Rock and Roll Train, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, High Voltage, Riff Raff, You Shook Me All Night Long, Whole Lot of Rosie, Let There Be Rock, TNT, and then For Those About to Rock, We Salute You.
They didn't do Fat Jack.
No, they. I'm just look. I don't. And here's what's interesting. I'll do it. I won't bore you with the rest of the tour. But I'm looking to see if.
I said Fat Jack. It's of course Big Jack, right? That's what
Okay,
I'm-
so they're doing
no,
the
the
old.
Jack. The Jack.
All
is
right,
what it's called.
so they're
That's like
doing-
my favorite live AC/DC song.
They're doing the old shtick that Rush used to do.
What?
They don't change the set list at all.
Oh, they're doing the same. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, they're like 80 years
I know.
old, dude. I mean,
But you got to have a little bit of diversity.
I understand that, but
yeah,
that's a lot to ask.
But they're not changing the set
That
list. at all.
sounds right for given their age. Like
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna be.
All right, so it's boring.
The best live AC/DC song is the Jack because like Angus does like a 4-minute like just blues riff in the middle of it. It's tremendous.
So
It's
anyway,
wonderful.
well, good set list though. Good
yeah,
set
like
list.
if it wasn't in a stadium, that's really the problem now.
Right.
I don't want to see AC/DC in a stadium. Like it's just not. No thanks.
They didn't play
Right?
Money Talks though.
They didn't. They
Which
don't
that's a
think they
great
ever
song.
play Money Talks.
That's a
for
great
whatever
song.
Reason. The one time I saw AC/DC,
Yeah, that's a great song.
2009, I think it was.
Okay.
When I saw AC/DC.
I saw them on the Hell's Bell on the Back in Black tour when Brian Johnson first came out
Yeah.
at the Cap Center. I think I saw him twice. I might even see him 3 times. I definitely saw him twice. I would say at their zenith.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I never got to see Led Zeppelin. I did have tickets to see them before John Bonham died. At their zenith, they were the best live band I ever saw.
Okay.
At their zenith.
Okay.
I saw them on that Back in Black tour. I might have actually seen them twice on that tour. I think a bunch of us went to Philly to see them. And it was weird. It went like Baltimore. It went like Boston, New York, Baltimore, Charlotte, Atlanta, Tampa, Nashville, Philly. Usually it would go like,
right. Yeah. Baltimore, Philly. Right. Yeah.
for some reason it didn't. Because I think I saw them twice on that tour. But live,
Incredible.
and Brian Johnson, you can say whatever.
Right.
I was not. I mean, Bon Scott was great.
Right, correct.
Brian Johnson could sing.
100%.
He could sing. Bon Scott was more of a screamer, but Johnson had that quality too. But that Back in Black tour was unreal. You know what one of the best shows I ever saw was? Ever? In my top 5 ever in my life. and I've seen hundreds of concerts.
Okay.
This will shock you when I tell you that this was one of the best live shows I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Duran Duran.
I've heard that from
Duran
other
freaking
people.
Duran
And I
was unbelievable. Incredible. I went with this girl who coaxed me into going, and the only reason I went was I thought if I don't go, I mean, you've done this before. You did it with your wife. If I don't go, she's going to go with somebody else.
Correct. Yeah.
So I went with her, and I was blown away in more ways than one.
Well, hey, good
Yeah.
for you. Good for you.
John,
Are we talking about that?
I mean, they're Duran Duran. I'm saying,
I hear you.
unbelievable.
John and Little Rock said, "A Whole Lot of Rosie" is the greatest AC/DC song.
Okay, well,
It's a great song. It's a great song.
Yeah, good to hear from John. High praise from him.
He said he agrees with you that Power Age on the Power Age album.
John said that?
Yeah.
John's a good man.
Yeah, you've always said that about him, haven't you? You've always said that.
I like
about
John. Now, John and I know music.
Yeah. Yeah. The two of you. That's our duo.
But I tell you what, man, freaking Duran Duran was unreal. And I'll tell you something. That last, I had that. It was a Chamber of Commerce night. The last time I was at Merriweather, it was bizarre. My buddy Chris Beloga said to me at noon, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not doing anything." I think my wife and kids were both. They were all. I was home by myself. I remember it because he said we're going to see Goo Goo Dolls and OAR. And I said, "Where are your seats?" He goes, "Oh, we just got lawn seats. There's plenty available." And I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm 58 years old."
You know how old Drew is?
Yeah, I'm
God.
like, Drew's not doing the lawn, right? He's like, "Come on, man, it's going to be a nice night. We'll have a couple cocktails. It'll be a nice night." And it was, what was that, the end of July or something like that? It was total Chamber of Commerce postcard, 88 degrees, no humidity, perfect. And at like 2:30, I sent him a text and said, "What time are you leaving?" He's like, "We're leaving at 4." I said, I'm going to go. We sat on the lawn. I'm telling you, that OAR show was absolutely
so weird.
Freaking
It's
spectacular.
so weird it
was spectacular. They were that was the night that Johnny Resnick had the broken leg,
and
sat on the speaker, and was kind of not even interested in really being there. And they let OAR come out second.
Mm-hmm.
Goo Goo Dolls came out first.
Merriweather. That's
what I said, right?
Right, I know. But they were probably always going to do that.
But I mean, that's rare. Well, that's rare for the leading band to come out first.
Yeah, I think that.
I mean, it was an ode to them. It was a cap tip to them,
right.
for sure. And I don't know that he 100% really wanted to be there.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that show was out of this world. They were so freaking good. They started with City on Down. It was so good. It was crazy. Anyway.
It's so weird that for 30 years they're touring, and you're just like, whatever. And then you see them one time, you're like, I might have been wrong about these guys. They would try to come on the show all the time, and Drew would be like, I don't care. I don't know who they are.
Well, we had those people on the Lone Bellow.
Yeah, because I told you how good they were.
Yeah, we saw them, remember, in New York.
I know. And I said, these guys are incredible. You're going to want to watch them.
Did we have Rah Rah Riot on, too?
Who?
Rah Rah Riot.
I don't know if we had him on the show or not. I have no idea.
Anyway.
Yep. All right.
Late submission to Hanging on the Rim, listener question. Wants to know what the Wizards are going to do. Lucas in Seattle wants to know what the
your brother wants to know
what are the Wizards going to do at 6.
Well, they're not getting Ace Bailey.
It's a great point.
Probably not.
It's a great point.
But he's like 3 inches tall, shorter than we thought he was. So
yeah.
But they're not getting Ace Bailey.
Right.
No.
But any other thoughts or?
Not
All
particularly.
right, we'll come back in. We'll play Would You Rather When.
What's to know what you think about Nick Clifford?
Not particularly. Nah.
You can give me the question.
Nah.
Give me the question.
He wants to know what you think about Nick Clifford.
No. The first question.
What are the Wizards going to do at 6?
Screw it up. And when we come back in, we'll play Would You Rather Wednesday. That's next. Drew's here. Glenn Clark Radio.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at driveeasymd.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com. LiveCasino.com.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Something big is coming to Maryland, but it's more than what you think. Because this year, it's more than a race. It's the Preakness Festival 150. And if there's one event you don't want to miss, it's the Magic of Maryland Music Celebration with DJ D-Nice, Club Quarantine 5 Live, BSO alongside conductor Igmar Thomas, special performances by Deborah Cox, Jadakiss, Too Short, and more. Tickets are limited. Find them and see all other events free and ticketed at PreaknessFestival.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCRs. Continue along.
By the way, I might. Do you guys use this?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we just have it sitting there.
We're going to watch the Orioles game later today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, take it easy.
Yeah.
Because Knox chewed hours.
Take it easy, he says.
Knox chewed hours.
They're like $15 on Amazon.
That's a real shame.
Maybe 20.
You're not going to
But I
take our remote. It's not going to happen.
All right, calm down.
Yeah.
Calmer you are.
I don't know. I said that pretty matter-of-factly.
But were you a Schitt's Creek watcher?
Well, I was when it was on television. Yes.
Did you like it?
Yes, of course. Anything else?
No.
All right, very good. I've got random questions.
Drew, you
too.
like Andor.
Yeah.
The Star Wars show.
We really got into Schitt's Creek.
You ever had a Nutty Buddy? Like, what are we doing here?
You know they have peanut M&Ms now.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Now they do?
They do. They make them in a sort of a yellow pack.
I don't know if you've heard. Women can drive.
You should rephrase
some.
Yeah, you should rephrase that. They attempt to.
It is I do have to acknowledge Drew asking me about shows that were on 8 years ago. Dude, I remember him coming in here. Dude, have you heard about this Ted Lasso? 3 years.
Oh, what do you think
afterwards.
about the new Apple TV, the Owen Wilson one, Stick, the golf show?
I haven't seen it because we
You're
were
asking him about a show that's currently
we were
on.
pirating.
No, it hasn't come out yet.
We were pirating Apple, and then we did, and now we lost our ability to do that.
Come on, man.
Comes out in like 3 weeks.
It's like your brother asking him about what the Wizards are going to do at 6.
Well, he's,
like he
he's
can
the
name
host of NBA.
like he
Creek-
can name
Schitt's
3
Creek was out of the
NBA
show.
draft prospects.
It got a little wonky at the end, but they ran out of stuff to do, which is why they stopped doing the show.
All right.
Gotcha. I didn't know that thing.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know. Hey, real quick, we
How they all died.
haven't talked about our Darius Washington. Obviously,
What happened to him?
Massive bummer.
Tore his Achilles working out.
Yeah. Look, man, you can say this was going to be a luxury because the Ravens did draft Malachi Starks, but obviously they drafted Malachi Starks in hopes that some combination of Starks and Kyle Hamilton could be used in different ways and not just playing a traditional safety role. So there's no getting around it. It's a major bummer for the Ravens. It's not the end of the world. They are a fairly deep team, and I don't think they're in panic mode. They don't need a starter necessarily, but I think it wouldn't be surprising if they dip their toes into what's left of
So the Malachi Starks guy not going to start?
I just said they don't need a starter. They have a starter.
All right, take it easy.
What's the Chuck Clark reunion look like?
Yeah, I know he's still out there.
I love that.
I don't think that's going to be
What do you
the way
think
to
the
go.
attendance is going to be Saturday?
for the Preakness.
Yeah.
40,000, something in that range. Yeah.
Sounds good, or is that...
No, it's just what they're just trying to get through this and
Okay.
get to the part where they have a new Pimlico.
Okay.
That's all they're trying to do. They're certainly not trying to
I mean,
get.
there's zero feel for the race, right? In town.
Well, I mean, there's zero feel for the race anywhere because there's no Triple Crown at stake.
Right. I just
Like,
remember
there's way more in town
I mean,
than there is anywhere
maybe
else.
it was because we immersed ourselves in it in the
Right.
years when you were on the air with me. But I mean, when I say we used to make it a big deal, don't get me wrong. Like it was a big deal. We didn't make it into a big deal. It was a big deal, but we treated it like it was a big deal. The Preakness was a huge race.
Yes. It's not just the race.
And
it was
an event.
It was also a homecoming of sorts. It was a civic.
Yeah,
and that part is probably never coming back.
And do you think it all gets traced back to the booze policy change?
To some extent, yes, but not really, because you would look at the attendance was actually higher after the change of the booze policy. What it traced back to was
the first year was dismal.
The first year was awful, and then they did the
75,000 people
unlimited beers, and they had the highest numbers they've ever had.
Right.
The point is, they purposely don't want that.
They don't want that atmosphere, you mean?
They've decided.
Yeah. Well, that was what was the guy's name? Tom Clancy. What was the guy's name?
Yeah, Chukas. Yeah,
Chukas.
Yeah.
What did I say? Clancy.
Yeah.
He
But he was still there when they did the Mug Club thing.
No, but I'm saying
was still
he
there
came
for
in that day and
right.
Said,
you're not gonna
had his nose in the air, born on third base, thought he hit a triple, and said, "We're not having that sort of deplorable behavior."
It's not even really about the behavior anymore. It's just we don't cater to people that don't have money.
Right.
That's where they are.
Right.
This event isn't gonna be for the riffraff.
Yeah, put $20 together and let's go have a good time.
Yeah,
Right.
this is gonna be an exclusive. You can't go to the Super Bowl for $20.
Yeah, right.
You're not coming
right.
to our race
Right.
for you
Sure.
know like we're.
No, I
it's
get
an
it.
exclusive event. It's
And
gonna
just
be
a
like
shame. It feels like it's really just lost its luster, and this year particularly, it's lost. It
Oh
a
yeah,
little
this
bit.
year it's
First of all, the weather this week's
disastrous.
not been great, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's
that's a little bit, but I
down
mean,
in the dumps on that.
Not having a Triple Crown at stake is
for sure.
Yeah, it's the end.
100%.
That's all that
you got to run the race. That should be the rule. You got to bring that horse here. And
Well, they're gonna
change.
They're gonna
He's got to
change the
run.
dates. They're gonna change the dates. That's gonna happen. Like they're at the point of no return with this. They have to. They have no choice but to change the dates.
Well, what do? Do you move the Derby up to April?
No. The thought within the sport is Derby stays where it is. Preakness first week of June. Belmont first week of July.
Okay. I mean, you're going to sweat your balls off up there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they run. They race.
Right.
that
Sure.
week
Sure.
anyway. Like
Yeah.
it's not.
I mean, we don't even do horse racing here anymore.
Correct.
Except for the Preakness.
Correct. Although allegedly there's going to be a little more at the new facility.
I mean, how funny is it to remember that in the 80s and even into the 90s,
it was
John Bjorn would go on TV and say, seventh race,
here are the results.
Glenn's Dream was your winner. Like, it mattered.
Like it was a racetrack. Yeah,
Right.
100%. It was a weird, it wasn't just a place they'd try to play lacrosse on the infield during the rest of the year. All right. Ardarius Washington, bummer. That's all I got for you. It's just a bummer. There's no way around it. Bummer for him, bummer for the Ravens.
Again.
Would you rather Wednesday?
Easy. Oh, you know, Daniel Kelly went to
No.
Calvert Hall.
No. Did he?
He was.
No, I had no idea Daniel Kelly went to Calvert Hall. My God.
He was
all of them.
He was in my FCA huddle.
Good. You want to say hello?
Well, I got to go.
Just dynamite stuff, man.
But just tell Daniel, Coach Drew said hi,
dynamite stuff.
and that he was one of our best in the FCA huddle.
And you know who they're facing on Sunday?
Who?
You have no idea.
What are you talking about?
Maryland. Where he plays now.
Oh, right. He played. I thought you were talking about Calvert Hall. I'm like,
no.
The game's not Sunday,
Yeah,
Chief.
It's Friday night. I'm aware.
Yeah, Maryland plays.
Uh-huh.
Sure. Hold on. I'm looking at the bracket in my
your
mind.
Go ahead.
And they play Syracuse.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
But I'm looking. I'm closing my eyes.
Just keep looking.
Syracuse. So it's not them. It's not Colgate.
Uh-huh.
It's not Army because they didn't make it.
You say so.
Army and man. Oh, they play Ohio State.
No. Ohio State lost.
Okay.
Syracuse was still alive.
You get that.
They won in overtime, which was totally a fluke. They should have lost to Harvard.
They were down big.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Pepperdine?
No, didn't. Just came up short this year. Believe it or not.
Maryland. It's got to be one of the ones that just kind of snuck in.
Just kind of snuck in. You said.
Maryland. Hopkins?
No, they didn't make it.
It's not Loyola.
Johns Hopkins. Nope, they
As
also
well as
didn't make it.
Pepperdine, yeah.
It's, I do know who they're playing.
Yeah.
I'm a dummy. Princeton.
No.
Oh. No. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. If I told you he's facing his brother.
Oh, North Carolina.
No, that.
Oh, Cornell.
No.
Well, holy hell! How many of them are out there?
There are lots of them. You
Hold
are right
on a
about
second.
That. Right,
the one is at. Hold on. Because the one's at
which brother is the
JK is at Cornell.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the other one? Is the other one at Georgetown? Where's the other one? I don't know.
You got it.
Georgetown.
Shuey is it?
Yeah.
Shuey is at
right.
Georgetown.
Owasu.
Yes,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's who they were
was
playing.
an adventure.
Is he playing? Owasu playing? Shuey playing?
I think so.
Is he? Okay.
I think he plays. Hang on a second. I'll tell you. I'm pretty sure he gets run. He's a sophomore.
JK doesn't really play at Cornell, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Shuey Kelly. He had 2 goals this year.
Okay.
2 goals,
so
3 assists, 5 points.
Okay. And what Daniel have? 12?
He had a big year.
Yeah. He's a nice player.
Yeah, he's a nice player.
He'll play in the league.
Probably.
He'll play in the pro league.
Probably. Yeah. All right. Would you rather Wednesday?
Yeah, I gotta hustle because I gotta go.
Sure. Right.
Because I gotta get Knox's happy hoodie refit.
Yeah, I know. Very important. Would you rather get your responses in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio? You know what? I don't think I've even posted them on Twitter, so I apologize. That's my fault. I'll get them posted right now. Would you rather, number 1, we haven't talked about it yet. Would you rather, they're going to do this again in 2027. Would you rather Pete Rose gets into the Hall of Fame in 2027 and Barry Bonds never does, or Barry Bonds gets into the Hall of Fame in 2027 and Pete Rose never does?
Well, this is a slam dunk, and I can't even believe I'm saying it. Pete Rose can't get in the Hall of Fame. Period. Ever. So, there's your answer.
All right.
You got to put Barry Bonds in.
All right.
You can't put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. He gambled on the baseball games. There are a lot of things in the world I'm flexible on, and I'm willing to, as I get older, I'm willing to kind of acquiesce on, and Bonds might be one of them. You can't put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I wrote this morning at Drew's Morning Dish. When you discovered, I don't know how old you were, when you discovered that Hulk Hogan knew before the match started he was losing to Bob Backlund.
Unbelievable.
Didn't that crush you? Whenever that was.
Yeah, when I was a kid, sure.
When you found out that Bob Backlund...
I remember, in fact, going through, an amount of denial after, it had been made clear to me, yeah, but sometimes they just let him fight. I
know I've told this story before. Right. I went to the Omni Hotel to drop off game notes for a Blast St. Louis Steamers game on a Saturday night. And Friday night, they were wrestling in the steel cage.
St. Louis Steamers.
Orndorff,
that was real.
Orndorff and Bob Orton were wrestling in the steel cage, and and Orndorff in the lobby of the hotel threw the room key to Cowboy Bob Orton. Yeah. Said, "Here we are, we're in 314."
Right.
And I walked out and I said, "Holy hell!
Yeah, that can't be right.
That's
not okay.
I knew it wasn't on the up and up. They're rooming together.
Right. Yeah, it's not good."
Pete Rose.
Hey, what did the Steamers do when they moved to Cleveland?
They changed their name.
Changed their name? Okay.
Appropriately so.
Right.
You can't put Pete Rose turned baseball into professional wrestling. You can't put him.
That's probably a stretch, but I get it.
You can't put him in the Hall of Fame.
I get it.
As great as he was.
For the record, for all the hand-wringing about it, I don't think there's a chance he's getting in. I don't think there is.
Okay.
It would have. I get it. The fear.
I don't think you could put Shoeless Joe in, but mostly because he didn't wear shoes.
Right. It's a great point. Right. What are we doing here? How are you going to put that guy in the Hall of Fame?
Come on, dog. At least put your shoes on.
For all the hand-wringing, the Hall of Famers have made it clear they don't want Pete Rose in, and all of these committees seem to defer to the Hall of Famers. Now, the only fear here is that all of this is only happening because baseball is afraid that Donald Trump's going to take away their tax exempt status, and
he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
He of sound mind.
Yeah, correct. And for some reason, this is the thing that he cares about because Pete Rose liked him, and that's just what a country.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, right. What a place and time we are in our history.
We're making money off these tariffs.
That's right. Great point. We're all killing it, and plus, think about how cheap everything is. I get it. I get the fears. I just don't think. I think it's unfounded. I don't think there's a chance that Pete Rose is getting into the Hall of Fame.
He better not get in.
So I think this is all kind of wasted.
And you can't put the other guy in either. I mean, hell, there's almost an argument he belongs in before Shoeless Joe, which is really bizarre.
I mean, that guy admittedly threw the World Series.
Well,
right?
he was part of a group that did. He played great.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. Would you rather That baseball genie from last week.
By the
is
way, do you
back.
think it would have been any different in 1988
Love baseball.
if Pete Rose would have simply said, it's a little bit of the Justin Tucker thing, you got me and I did it.
Yes, I 1,000%.
I kind of do too.
Yes, 100%.
Anyway, go ahead.
Would you rather? That baseball genie says you can undo an Orioles move.
Ooh.
You can undo the Danny Coulombe decision.
What?
He of 26 and a third consecutive scoreless innings. Danny
Okay.
Coulombe, who will
Okay.
join us later on this morning.
Okay.
And instead of keeping CNL Perez, they'll get rid of CNL Perez and keep Danny Coulombe, or
I'll take that one.
they never sign Charlie Morton and instead sign Jack Flaherty.
Oh. I don't know. What's Flaherty done?
Yeah,
He's been okay.
He's not been great.
so I can't undo the
The
Trevor
Flaherty
Rogers.
numbers are really weird because I was.
It's like 3.95 ERA.
It's not even that. It's over 4, but with a 1-2 whip.
Okay.
Like it's weird. He's got a 4.5 ERA, but with a 1-2 whip.
But is he? But would have
So
Flaherty?
It'd be 17 and.
But would
20 right
Flaherty
now
have
instead of-
encountered the same run of bad luck of Morton? I mean,
This is
Morton's
bad luck. I don't know that this is bad luck.
You've seen some of the balls that they've hit out there and that people didn't
I
catch.
just don't think he's good.
Did you see that one ball that they hit over the fence that the guy didn't catch?
Yeah, I did.
You
I
see
ca-
that
I
one
caught that, and the other one too.
So I can't undo the Trevor Rogers trade, is what you're.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take Coulombe. I don't know. I mean, does Flaherty really? I don't know. I don't know how much.
I don't
Coulombe adds
see. I
either.
honestly don't see a whole lot of difference between Flaherty and Morton.
I guess
I
I'd
mean-
rather have 17
I mean,
wins than.
There
one of them
is.
has a 4.5
I
ERA.
know,
The other
I
one
know.
has a 10.
I know.
Like,
I get it.
I'll take Flaherty.
Yeah.
I get it. But I also, if Flaherty were here, he might be 2-5 with a 6.24 ERA. I don't know.
You'll take Danny Coulombe. Is the point.
Yeah.
All right. And then number 3, would you rather?
All right, I gotta go.
Go back to your late 20s, early 30s. All right? Your prime,
If there was a God.
making money with little responsibility.
Actually,
Re-
probably was the only time I ever made money in my life.
reckless decision era. You know,
Okay.
like that. Think
Right.
back to that time.
Okay.
You're that age again.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, thank you. Would you rather
Right.
your closest friend in your group, the group that you go out with and rip it up with, your closest friend starts dating the described worst person I've ever dealt with, Jordan Hudson?
Okay.
Or out of nowhere, again, not this point in your life, that point of your life,
Okay.
your brother randomly becomes the Pope. And now everything that you've ever done,
Can't measure
and
up.
everything that you will do is completely
Yeah,
scrutinized.
you can. Well, and it can't be measured up
Yeah.
because he's the Pope. I don't know. I think for comedic relief, I'd take the girl.
I don't think it would be comic. I think you just hate everything.
Your friend's dating her? You're not dating her.
You're not dating her.
Okay.
I mean, you don't
Yeah.
get that. I mean, come on, she's still attractive.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll take that.
Stop.
I'll take that just for the sideshow.
Oh man, I.
I don't think my brother's gonna become the Pope though.
No,
so-
it doesn't. He is in this scenario. He's the Pope. You just wake up one morning and you're like, "Holy crap,
This
he's
guy-
the Pope."
By the way, this guy's going to be a great Pope.
I'm hearing you.
I gotta go.
I don't know a lot about. You want to say hi to Daniel Kelly? He's there. You
Oh,
wanna say
Daniel.
Hi to him?
Yeah.
Pull up Daniel Kelly. Daniel Kelly's with us. Drew Forrester's getting ready. Who you playing today?
We're playing Loyola.
Uh-oh.
Daniel, I need a quick FCA prayer huddle from you. We're playing Loyola today in the semifinals.
There you go. Good luck.
That's what he's got for you. Yeah, he's like Daniel Kelly says, I got bigger issues
I know,
that I'm dealing
I
with
know,
right now than
I
your
know.
golf match, Forrester.
Well, how about the Hall last night, huh?
It was a big win. I'm pumped for my dad and brother, and I'm happy they were able to get it done.
No doubt
Well,
about
I
it.
hope you guys have a great rest of your season, and we're off to beat the Dons.
There you go.
We'll
Drew's
see
got
you
to
soon.
duck out. Love you, buddy. Appreciate you stopping by. That's Drew Forrester.
See ya.
Daniel Kelly is with us. Maryland, Georgetown this Sunday in Annapolis in the NCAA tournament quarterfinals. Daniel, it's great to chat with you, man. I wonder how your family's been through this a time or two over the years, right? Like, this is not the first time that any two of you have faced off against each other. How do they handle it in these moments? What's the game plan? Who wears what? Who sits where? What does this look like Sunday in Annapolis?
Yeah, it's definitely a weird spot to be in, but I'm thankful for the opportunity and my family. It's harder on them than it is on me playing and my younger brother Shuey for Georgetown. we got a job to do, but they'll figure out the T-shirts and what they want to wear.
The whole deal.
I'll stay at.
What about do you text like your Jacob and say, hey dude, you're rooting for me, right? Like, do you have that conversation at all?
It's weird, man. He went to Georgetown, took his 5th year there, loved his time there. So it's a little weird. There's a lot of ties, but I'll worry about that after the game, and they can figure that out. Figure all that stuff.
I understand. I understand it entirely. Daniel, obviously, you've done this, right? Like you've been part of a team that won a national championship, but in this role, like now being a more significant part, do you find yourself saying like this would be more significant to you to win a national title now, playing a bigger role with this team?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the 2022 team, and that was an awesome run. I learned a lot of impactful things from my career from those guys, but being in the role I've been in the past 3 years and playing way more and on attack and doing those things, it would definitely mean a ton to me. And I know the rest of the guys that were on that team, but in a smaller role. So it would definitely mean a lot.
What is it that, like everything that you guys went through maybe a year ago and coming, up just short and getting back to the national championship, have you learned like the lessons of the difference in what it takes to be good versus be a champion? Like, can you share that with the younger guys on this team? Like, hey, here's what it requires for us to finish the job and be celebrating a Memorial Day this time around.
Yeah, no, you take a lot of lessons that you learned. In 21, we lost in the national championship. 22, we won. Last year, obviously lost. You learn a lot through those opportunities and through those experiences and what it means to be a champion and what it takes. A lot of preparation, taking care of your body. Those things you definitely learn as you get older and have those experiences. And we're just trying to take it day by day. And right now, focus on the Hoyas. They're a great team, and we know we got our hands full. So it's a one day at a time mentality here.
Obviously, you bring up they're a really good team. There's no question about that, and they were very impressive last weekend. We referenced your connections to Georgetown, but I think that there's also like sort of this for them, maybe a lot of people would say is their Super Bowl, right? Like this is their moment, the opportunity to knock off the program that they're so constantly compared to. Do you have those conversations this week about like, hey, we have to be aware of what we're up against and not think about the fact that there isn't a little number next to their name?
Yeah, I mean, what Coach Warren has done with Georgetown is pretty impressive. For me, I know what's being said in that locker room. I know how they're approaching it. Obviously, having the ties that I do back to that place and the family members that are in the locker room and we're in the locker room, I know the approach that they're taking. And, they're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to fly around. Coach Warren's going to have those guys ready, but we got to match their energy and compete on the ground and let the chips fall where they may.
Daniel Kelly is with us. Maryland, Georgetown, Sunday afternoon in Annapolis in the NCAA tournament quarterfinals. Daniel, like, are you having like stop and smell the roses moments, like going through this year? Like, have the emotions hit you a little bit of all of this and everything that you've been through during your 5 years at Maryland, and the idea that this might be it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. You stop and pinch yourself a little bit, and you realize, oh, man, I'm playing in the quarterfinal that I dreamed of playing in. And last year I had to do the same thing, playing in the national championship, and the year before. And, it's part of the journey, but we still have a job to do, and we got to take care of business. So it's hard to stop yourself and really look back and be like, wow, this is what we're doing. But we still got to take care of business.
You know a thing or two about great coaches, right? Like you've been around a few in your life. There's so much made about John Tillman in May, right? Like that, like it's almost like the Tom Izzo thing in college basketball in March. Can you explain to people, like from your experiences, why it is that you guys do tend to be playing your best lacrosse when you get to the end of the season?
I don't necessarily really know. I mean, Coach Tills is the man. He's an awesome coach, and he has us prepared every week. But I think it falls down to just not beating yourself, doing the little things, taking care of the ground and being a disciplined lacrosse team. And ultimately, if you don't beat yourself and that gives yourself the best chance to win. And we take pride in that. We practice it a lot. All the weird scenarios that may pop up in a big time game like this, we go over it. And just be the master of simple. We talk about it all the time, just dominating the simple stuff and that's usually what gets you far in May.
I mean, obviously, it sounds easy to say, right? But you actually have to go out and do it, and clearly you guys have been really good at that. Do you is that inherent when you play lacrosse at Maryland? Is it something that requires like guys like you to be the leaders to pass that down to a new group of players every year?
Absolutely. It's a learning curve when you come here, and in high school, a lot of guys who come to Maryland in high school, you're the best player on the team, and you come here and you have to learn how to play a different style of lacrosse and play a style of lacrosse that you don't beat yourselves and you play simple. It takes time to learn, and I take pride in putting that down to the younger guys because that happened to me. I was able to learn from Roman Puglisi, Logan Wisnauskas, Jared Bernhardt. Those guys were the master of simple, and that's my role is to be the voice down there on the offensive end and can kind of control the game and the tempo of the game.
Now, you know what's interesting to me about your guys' offense this year, right, is that it's not necessary. We know there have been Maryland teams where it's been, whether it's a Bernhardt or Wisnauskas, like that have been alphas. This year, and really for the last couple of years, it's been way more of maybe one game it's you, right? Like we saw that in the Penn State game where it was your day, and then obviously last week it was, of course, Eric's day. How does that work? What is that dynamic like for you guys offensively? And is it hey, try to feel who it is that's hot that day, get him the ball? What is that like as you go into a week?
It's a fun style across the play. I can tell you that. It's any day it could be someone different on our offense, and that's what you want to be a part of. We talk about all the time, the defense will give you the answers and how they're playing, and you just take what they give you. And for us, Penn State, I was able to get open a couple times, and this past weekend they were giving Eric some opportunities to go at him, and you take advantage of that. And a lot of times the answer is how they're playing defense, and we're just going to try to counter it.
I mean, is it something that you like talk about in prep during the week, or is it just something that like you can't until you get out there on the field, you can't have full knowledge of like who they're going to short, things like that?
We have a good idea of kind of what teams are going to do
with
the coaches. I mean, put together a great plan and a game plan, and we try to follow it as best as we can. But you never know until you're out there and how they're going to play things. And we try to go over every single scenario of what could happen and kind of just based off what we're seeing, possession in, possession out, and try to do our best to counter that stuff.
Man, I look, man, your family obviously is legendary in the lacrosse community and in this area in general. Can you describe to me what it was like growing up a Kelly and obviously no pun intended, the benefits that come along with that. Yeah, see what I did there. But really, like also like the amount of pressure that maybe that comes along with and the expectations that are on you and how all of that maybe helps get you to this place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super blessed to be part of the family that I have and have the supporting cast around me, and a lot of older cousins and brothers that have paved the way for guys like myself and my younger brothers coming up here. And it's tough. There's a lot of pressure, no doubt, but ultimately pressure is a privilege, and we embrace it, and we just try to go out there and compete with the God-given talent that we're blessed with and make some stuff happen and play as a fierce competitor and don't take plays off and try to be the smartest guy on the field at all times.
What's the best lesson your dad ever taught you, right? Like as a coach or just as a dad? What's the best lesson that maybe you carry with you every day because it's something that you picked up from him?
Yeah, I would say two things. Lacrosse is not who you are, it's what you do. We love this sport. I care a ton about this sport and the relationships it's given me, but ultimately it's not my identity. And then also just to be a good teammate at all times. That's something that he preaches a ton of Caverdall, and a lesson that I've taken with me is just value the relationships that you have and have eyes to see others that maybe need something or maybe need an uplifting voice and try to help them and be a great leader and do your job.
I think those are tremendous lessons that everyone that plays this sport should be hearing. Do you try to help him at all? Like, do you watch any of the games and give thoughts, or you way too busy with what you're doing that like you just don't have the opportunity?
I'll watch some games here and there. Right now, no. But earlier in the year, when I have some time on my hands, I'll try to watch some film for him and try to figure some stuff out or give him some stuff to do. right now, he's got it under control, and I got bigger things to worry
Obviously,
about.
you got stuff. You got stuff that you got in front of you that you got to do. I did one of their. I'm trying to remember what game it was. I did one of their games this year, and it was the first time that I'd seen Caleb play, and I was like, oh, holy smokes, man! Like, you got to be kidding me. This kid's a freshman. My God, he's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he's been having to go to a bunch of our games all the time. So now it's his time. I was able to go to his game last night.
That's
which is
cool,
and,
man.
been fun to watch him play.
Is it going to be possible at all for you to be there Friday, or is that too close to your guys' game that won't work out?
It's probably a little too close. I'm going to try to get there if I can, depending on treatment and what we got going on here.
I understand that, man. I understand that that's where your focus is trying to win a quarterfinal and get back to Memorial Day weekend, right? I guess let's wrap with that, Daniel, right? Like, what does it take? Like for you guys, and you know everything there is to know about playing Memorial Day weekend. What does it take to get the job done and be back there next weekend?
You got to play hard. You got to win the ground, and you got to be the master of simple. I think the more simple we can be in May, and not beating yourself is the recipe. And do the little things, whether that's the week of prep. We got to have a great week of prep, and we got to prepare hard for a great team, and kind of feed off the energy that we're going to have on Sunday at Navy and the Terp fans that'll be out there, and take care of business and do our job.
And you're right. There's going to be a lot of Maryland fans there. There's no doubt. There's also probably going to be a lot of Georgetown fans there on Sunday. It'll be kind of like a cool high school atmosphere, like sort of what we'll see at Towson on Friday night, with fans from both teams being in attendance. And then I guess maybe you also have to learn how to handle like the adversity of like maybe the shot clock's not going to work for 15 minutes or something like that.
That was weird, man. I didn't know what was going on, and I'm fortunate they figured it out. But I was like, this is the longest stoppage I've ever been a part of.
And that's the crazy part to me is like for guys like it's got to be killer, right? Like you got all that, you're amped up going into a game, you're ready to go, and now you just got to stop, right? Like, what did you guys do during that time? How did you keep that energy up so that you didn't have like a little bit of a letdown afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to try to win the first 5 minutes of the game, and we did that. And then after the first 5 minutes, we basically had to start a whole new quarter. But it's weird. It's hard to get your legs back under you and stuff like that. But, you got to be able to deal with all circumstances that come your way. And we handled it pretty well, but it was definitely one of the weirder things I've been a part of.
You certainly handled it quite well. There's no doubt about it. Daniel, are you on social media anywhere where Maryland fans can be giving you a follow? Are you on Twitter or Instagram, anything like that?
Yeah, Instagram. I don't have Twitter. But
what is it on Instagram?
DKelly45.
DKelly45. Give him a follow there. Daniel, been awesome watching you play these last few years. Looking forward to Sunday and everything moving forward from there. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning, man. Congratulations on everything that you've done and everything you're going to do as well.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Daniel Kelly, University of Maryland, Calvert Hall alum, with us here on GCR this morning. Appreciate him taking the time for us as they get ready for the NCAA tournament quarterfinals. Let's snag a break here. When we come back in, Dan Szymborski, Fangraphs. Can the Orioles turn things around? He'll answer that question for us next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high-fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at driveeasymd.com.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas Combo, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious spilling sandwiches including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard. And coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR to continue along. Don't forget, this Saturday we're going to be at Live Casino and Hotel for the Preakness. Going to have a great pre-race party with incredible giveaways, best dressed. You can pick the winner beforehand. We're going to be giving out baseball tickets and BMW Championship tickets. We're just going to have an awesome time leading up to the Run for the Black-Eyed Susans this Saturday inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. Make sure you come join us. The pre-race party starts at 5:30, so be there to hang out with us at Sports and Social. We look forward to doing that, and then keep June 7th on your calendar as we're going to be doing a poker tournament at Live Casino and Hotel. We'll be giving you some more details about that here in the coming weeks. So that's what we got. That's what's going on. Come join us Saturday at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Orioles, I guess Brandon Hyde has kind of confirmed the Chase McDermott thing that we were talking about earlier, and that they're just pushing Cade Povich back to the weekend. And sure, right? Like, sure. I do understand the thought process, right? Like, if you don't have to make a roster move in order to get a pitcher today. If you need the pitcher this weekend, you'd have to make a roster move. The Orioles did make a roster move today. Ramon Urias is back. Based on the version of Ramon Urias that we saw earlier in the season, that would be a welcome addition for the Baltimore Orioles if they get that Ramon Urias back, because
he is in the lineup today.
Yeah, he is in the lineup today. Now, to be fair, Emmanuel Rivera has also arguably been their best hitter in the last couple of weeks. Dylan Carlson gets optioned in order to make room for the return of Ramon Urias.
Also said apparently there's been a setback with Westberg as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. Whenever he met with the media, half an hour ago or whatever. So.
Great.
Yeah, that's not good.
Super. Then they're going to need Ramon Urias and Emmanuel Rivera to continue being productive, which, again, to be fair, he has a little setback. That's all they said. Didn't give any further update about Jordan Westberg. Awesome. Super cool guy. Great. Hey, Samuel Basayo did hit a couple of home runs last night, so there's that. Can the Orioles get things turned around? Our next guest dove into that topic. Fortunately, this was like 2 weeks ago that he got into it, and then for a couple of reasons, we're just finally getting the opportunity to catch up with him now. But always a pleasure to welcome back a man who writes about baseball, among other things. Writes for Fangraphs. He is Dan Szymborski, and he is back with us here on GCR. Dan, it's Glenn. I hope everything's all right. Appreciate you taking the time for us.
I guess given the Orioles season, this is kind of the moment for the not great Bob, Jeff.
Yeah, very much. There's been a lot of not great Bob that's been going on this year. Not great Bob. Dan, what's interesting to me in like some of the numbers that you ran, the most interesting part of it in that piece from Fangraphs was it would suggest that there shouldn't maybe be as much panic about Adley Rutschman as I think Orioles fans have. Now, I know we've got 2 more weeks of data, and it hasn't gotten better for Adley Rutschman. Where are you on the Adley Rutschman panic meter at this point?
I slowly get a little more panicky every week. It's like the average temperature this time of year. Like first it's like 50, and then we get to the end of April and it's 65, and then we're rolling to May and it's getting 75. So it's not burning panic yet, but I can feel those muggy days approaching because he isn't turning it around, and it's very, very concerning on many levels. He feels so passive at the plate. He's not swinging at bad pitches, but he's not really swinging at good pitches either. He's just kind of waiting for the at-bat to end.
That's what it seems like. I mean, like, that's the way that it feels, is that he doesn't think there's going to be a good outcome. And so let's just sort of get it out of the way at this point. How much data do we need to have before, like, we talk – like, it seems like there has to be almost a dramatic conversation at some point, right? Like, can Adley Rutschman be a catcher? It's one thing, like, if he was still super helpful behind the plate. He doesn't even throw out runners. Like, the throws aren't even close in most circumstances. It does that conversation, as I bring up Samuel Basayo, getting back behind the plate at AAA, at some point do they have to start thinking about Adley Rutschman's future as a catcher, even if I'm sure his camp wouldn't be thrilled about that conversation?
I think the primary problem is if he's hitting like this, he can't really do anything but being a catcher, which makes it kind of awkward. It's kind of what happened to Matt Wieters towards the end of his period of usefulness. Like, okay, if he was a catcher, if he can keep doing that, he'd be fine. But you look at Rutschman's projections and his WRC plus, his OPS plus, whatever you use, you can just see that go down a little. Going into last season, the 2025 projection was like something for 130 something in ZiPS. It was down to 123 in the preseason. Rest of season now, it's down to 117, and it's going to continue bleeding until something happens, and I do not know what that something is.
I guess the idea would be like, can you move him to first base and salvage the bat, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I'm just throwing things out there, but I get the point. The point is, like, you've got a first base problem right now because Ryan Mountcastle, although it's been better for the last week, like, has been so bad that you can't just say, well, he's a good defensive first baseman. You have to get better production at first base. Like, you only have so many spots on the field where you can count on that type of production. You can't be throwing away first base not getting that type of production.
One of the fundamental problems right now is that even if you believe the Orioles are as strong now as one would have thought in March, which of course is probably ridiculous, but even if you thought they were as strong, winning on a 92-70 pace for the rest of the season only now gets them to 82 wins.
Right.
And that's not going to make the playoffs. So you have to actually think that they're better than they were at the start of the season, and that's clearly not the case.
And the pitching obviously still stands out significantly there. Dan, I guess one more thought on the offense, and then I do want to talk about the pitching. Where are you with the Kobe Mayo problem, right? Like, where are you with the, boy, it hasn't worked twice when you've had him up at the big league level. They don't seem to have a plan for him. It probably hurts his trade value. Like, if we do the panic meter the way we just did with Adley Rutschman, where are you at with the Kobe Mayo conversation?
I think at this point you either give him the full-time job at the majors and give him 3 months, or you send him down and you let him play full-time. I don't think there's a middle ground that you can really do because one thing about playing in the majors is it's a game of adjustment, and unless you're going to commit, you can't just have a guy up for 5 or 6 games and then send him back down because he's never going to adjust. There are a lot of players who had really bad starts to their career in the majors, and they were just fine with a little patience. Some years ago when George Springer was breaking in with the Astros, he had a dreadful beginning of his career. And in my Fangraphs chats, people are always like, is Springer okay? Is he a bust? I'm like, you have to wait. You have to be patient. And the truth is that 2025 isn't completely lost yet, but it's at the stage where everything you do to try improve 2025 really has to improve 2026 and going forward from there. I don't think the Orioles are at a stage now where they can do things just thinking about 2025.
Yeah, I understand that. I completely get it, and that's sort of the reality that faces them. Dan Szymborski, Fangraphs, with us here on GCR. Dan, we have seen the one thing that has maybe changed a little bit. They've gotten Zach Eflin back, and Dean Kramer has been helpful since the month has turned to May. I am reluctant to believe that suddenly Dean Kramer is someone you can count on definitively. It feels like the Dean Kramer story is, yep, he'll be good for a little while, and then there'll be a reason why you don't believe in Dean Kramer again after that. But it has been better, and I do have to acknowledge that. Is there reason to think that now with 2.5, close, maybe 3 reliable starting pitchers, that the tide can start to turn pitching-wise for the Orioles?
It's really tough because you look at the guys who the names in question, and they weren't that exciting coming into the season. The rotation felt weak coming into the season, and if you're going to think that they completely turned around, I think you need more time. Of course, Kramer's last start was one of his best in the majors so far, but he's had a lot of starts that weren't the best that we've seen so far. And there's just how much can you believe? I mean, he was pitching against the Twins, who have struggled offensively at times this season. It's like, so did he learn to pitch between the Tigers game and that game? And you're like, probably not. It's good to be optimistic, but again, where the Orioles are, they need more than just get okay pitching. They need to really punch above their weight for the rest of the season. They need the offense to come around now, because this is a soft part of the Orioles' schedule.
Right.
If you're not going to make up ground playing the Twins and the Angels and later this week the Nationals and next week has the White Sox, if you're not going to make up ground against these teams, you're not going to make up ground, period.
Let's talk about the 2 big picture things then, Dan, right? Like the Brandon Hyde of it all. And I don't ask this question saying that I think Brandon Hyde's a bad manager or something like that. I just know that this is how baseball works, that when a team deals with prolonged struggles, the first thing they tend to do is fire the manager. At what point is that conversation legitimate for the Baltimore Orioles?
I think historically what happens is every GM gets like one manager firing before they're blamed for things. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to use it. It's like being on a reality show and having an immunity thing. Like Survivor, they used to have this thing called an immunity idol where you could get out of the vote. Every GM is given one of those when they're given the job, and I think you have to kind of pick your spot. I don't think that the manager is the problem. I think on some level what we're seeing is the Orioles being very conservative. This was a slow, careful team that isn't one that really makes risks. Like say, okay, they're not going to spend $300 million or something on a pitcher in the offseason, but you didn't really see the same upside plays that some other teams did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the last couple winters, like the Padres and Michael King, getting him in the Soto trade, the Mets and Clay Holmes, doing things like thinking out of the box and saying this pitcher has good stuff. Pitchers don't really go 7 innings anymore. Can this guy give me 5 good innings? And both teams have made out very well from moves like that. But you look at things like Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton could have been okay, but he was also going to be 41. I mean, what's the realistic upside there? It's a very, very conservative organization that is almost afraid to take a risk.
I completely agree, and I think it's nuts, right? Like I really do think it's crazy that the idea that they offered $45 million a year to Corbin Burns, admittedly on a shorter deal that they might have known he wasn't going to sign. I'm still struggling with that part of it. But then the pivot was, well, the best we can do is Charlie Morton. Like I'll never be able to make heads or tails of that. Like how are those the 2 options in this process? But I still say, with that said, right? Like. At what point does it not matter that it's not their fault? Like, at what point does you have to try to do something to shake things up, that part of the conversation become relevant?
But I think, a shakeup for a shakeup, I think it actually projects weakness rather than strength.
Okay.
It says we don't have anything better to do than fire the manager. It's like, okay, so you believed in him 6 weeks ago.
Right.
And now you have to ask yourself, okay, what did he do in these 6 weeks that would make you lose faith in him, other than just the record? Because managers have some control over what a team does, but not unlimited control. It comes down to the players. And as you were saying, that the choice is going from Burns to Morton is a pretty big deal. It's like going to the taco place. The taco's closed. Okay, what will we get for dinner?
Right.
How about nothing?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. By the way, my wife operates that way sometimes. This is a revealing look into my life. I'll say, she'll say, hey, I want sushi tonight. I'll be like, hey, the sushi place closed. She's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed. I'll be like, what? Like, what the hell just happened there? Like, what in the world? The other part of it is, and you allude to it, making decisions. What is the timeline and record between the possibility of still considering adding a pitcher versus, no, it's time to just see whatever you can get for Cedric Mullins and Zach Eflin and going the other way? Where do they need to be record-wise at what point to make a decision about which way they go moving towards the deadline?
I think there's about a month. I think if the Orioles are not at least up to the 500 mark in a month, that it's probably not happening. Obviously, there have been bigger comebacks like the Tigers from last year, but you can't bank on that happening. The whole reason these 1 in 500 things don't happen, that you don't do, is because they only happen 1 in 500 times, or they wouldn't be unlikely. This is a crucial time for the Orioles, and they need to figure it out really quickly. Because, again, it's a math problem at this point. Because whatever they do from the rest of the season, that 15-24 start is baked into the cake. It's not going anywhere. There's no set number of streaks and slumps that the fates have built in. So it's like, oh, we used up our bad streak. It's like, it doesn't work like that. That's just, gambler's fallacy. So I would say a month maybe, and it has to be a good month. They can't just go 3 games over. They can't just go like 17-13 for a month. That's not enough.
Man, I don't have a lot of hope. I don't have a lot of hope in that. That's the way that it's going to go, but we will see. There is time. Dan, what can I plug for you, man?
I'm writing a piece on Freddie Freeman and the 3,000 Hit Club and his projections up on Fangraphs. That should go up maybe today. I'm not sure. Editors have it, and we have to see how long it takes to convert my thoughts into English take. But that's what I've been working on.
I understand that problem. It's not easy for me, and I talk for a living, so that's not good. At D Szymborski, that's SZYM, at D Szymborski on Twitter is how you follow him. Dan, always appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us. Let's talk again real soon, all right?
Always fun. Thanks for having me.
It's Dan Szymborski from Fangraphs with us here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time. Today's show, or just a reminder that we're talking baseball right now, and Stan the Fan, Ross Grimsley, and Luke Jackson get together to talk baseball every Monday night, Monday afternoon, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. If you miss it live, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn. We're going to do this a little bit earlier. Believe it or not, he's not calling us like from the field 30 minutes before playing a baseball game.
It'd be cool if he was.
I mean, it'd be neat,
Why
right?
don't we tell me what that is?
Yeah, right? That'd be neat if that were the case. They are definitely playing, right? Like, it's not raining still. I know it's unpleasant.
Rock always shows the picture of the field whenever it's.
But I thought I saw that it wasn't supposed to start raining again until tonight, which might be the reason why they moved the night game to the afternoon. It's just because the radar looked better this afternoon than it does tonight. But yeah, believe it or not, he's not calling us from the bullpen. We did this a little bit earlier on, but appreciate the opportunity to catch up with former Oriole, now Minnesota Twins pitcher Danny Coulombe right here on GCR. Of course, the Orioles hosting the Twins this week. That means we get to see an old friend and someone who is thriving. It's one of those weird moments where you see like your ex-girlfriend and she's doing really well, and you're like, oh, man. He is, of course, former Oriole, now Twins again reliever, Danny Coulombe, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Danny, it's Glenn. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Man, I appreciate you having me on, Glenn.
Dude, like when you're in, I don't know this about you. How superstitious of a person are you?
It's hard not to be. I think there's such a fine line between routine and superstition.
Right.
So you kind of as a baseball player, it's pretty much impossible not to teeter that line. You hope not to be, but I would say I'm probably not as superstitious as most.
Okay, so when you are superstitious or even a little stitious, are you more superstitious in times like this when things are going absurdly well? And so like you have, or is it more like when you've gone through struggles in your career, what do I do to mix it up? How do I make things different?
Man, that's a good question. I wouldn't say it really changes much. You know,
Okay.
you just try to attack every single day as like, you know, it's the same day. I mean, baseball is Groundhog's Day. Every day is exactly the same, so you try to kind of approach it that way. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything different really.
Is there anything at all that like during this streak, which is just absurd? I mean, it's just nuts. Is there anything that you've done differently at all? Or would you say I've done everything the exact same? The results have just been, you know, even better than they were when, you know, obviously things were good before that, but even better of late.
You know, I wouldn't say there's anything I'm doing different. You know, you just try to. I mean, I have a pretty like structured, you know, schedule as far as routine, as far as what I do on a daily basis. You know, I kind of know what I need to get ready to be able to pitch that night. So I wouldn't say there's really much anything I do differently.
All right, so what is this structure? Is it like what you eat? Is it when you go out to the bullpen? Like how many tosses you get in? Like what is structured on a particular day?
Yeah, so the first day of the series, I always lift before the game. And then, you know, the second day I have some other things I do. And then after I pitch, I always lift legs or upper body. And then, you know, as far as throwing program goes, I would say that is like, I mean, it's as a pitcher, that's really the only time you get to practice. So that to me is like the only thing that like really, truly I need to stick to every single day is my throwing program. As far as like eating and whatever that is, like, no, there's no rhyme or reason. You know, there's not like I need to eat, you know,
a
grilled
bowl of
cheese every single
cornflakes.
day.
Yeah, right. Something like that. I was actually really rooting for that to be the case, to be honest with you,
No.
so that we could maybe have everybody else start doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Danny, can you, like, if we look back for a second, right? It's not as if you hadn't pitched well before you arrived in Baltimore, but obviously when you got to Baltimore, like, it almost seemed like you were a different guy, and it was that much better and that much more dominant. Was that anything related to the Orioles and their program and what they were telling you? Or do you feel like, you know, as your career was going, if you had stayed in Minnesota, wherever you would have been able to find the same amount of success?
Yeah, so 2023 spring training was a difference maker for me because in 2023, I introduced like the little cutter slider I throw, and it just really helped me just create some more leverage counts, get in better counts, you know, and just another look for hitters. And so like, I mean, obviously these numbers are not really recorded, but that spring training, I think I threw like 13 or 14 innings, didn't allow runs. So I felt really good in 2023 spring, and when the Orioles claimed me, you know, I really didn't have any idea how they were going to utilize me, but I think it was the first or second game that I was up there. It was in Boston in Fenway, and I was warming up in the 8th inning up 2 runs, and they're like, hey, you have Devers. And for me, that was like, whoa, okay, they're going to throw me in the fire and see how it goes. And, you know, you really don't know how well you can pitch and leverage until you actually do it. And so, you know, the Orioles gave me the opportunity to do that, and I'll forever be thankful for that. But that was really the first time in my career, like, I really had that opportunity.
I mean, obviously it went from there. Like, was the Devers moment the one where like you realized like, oh, I'm a different guy, or was there another moment where it like hit you where you said, I know I'm a major leaguer. You've been a major leaguer for a while at that point, but things have changed for me a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was more of like, oh wow, like I'm gonna get an opportunity to pitch in some leverage here, and you know you know. Hyde and Elias, they do an amazing job of like putting guys in positions to succeed. So, you know, they would put me in the part of the lineup that they thought I'd be good against, and that's what they did for 2 years. And they've just kind of continued that here in Minnesota. And, you know, a lot of conversations about like they would ask me like, how did they handle it in Baltimore? And, you know, we talked a lot about it. So yeah, you know, they have a great pitching development there and a great pitching department over there. Ryan Klemick and obviously Drew French and Mitch Plasmeyer do an awesome job. So I'm forever thankful for those guys.
Now I was gonna say, we're chatting with Danny Coulombe, obviously Orioles Twins this week here in Baltimore. Danny, like when you think about that moment, right? Like what has it meant to you to find this level that you've been able to find over the last couple of years? Like, were you ever worried about like, hey, how long am I gonna last? Were you ever worried like, you know, am I going to be up at the end of the run, you know, after maybe it ended in Minnesota? Did you go through any of that? And and what has it meant for you, your family, to be able to find this level to extend your career the way that you have?
Yeah, I mean, like I think baseball's been it's just been such an interesting ride for me specifically because, I was hurt all 4 years of college, and so I got drafted because I was good in high school, and when I got drafted, like I literally I played baseball as a resume booster. Like I want to do this, so then it looks really good on a resume when I go apply for other jobs. So give this a few months, my girlfriend at the time, wife now, it was like, okay, yeah, do it, do your thing. And, 14 years later, it's just, I'm still going, and she reminds me of that every day. But no, honestly, it has just been an amazing ride. And I'm just, forever thankful for teams just keep giving me opportunities. And, I've always kind of said, I'm just trying to throw the ball over the plate. That's all I'm really trying to do. I mean, that's a huge part of it. And so, yeah, I'm just going to keep trying to do that.
Yeah, you're pretty freaking good at it, man. So there's that. Obviously, I know you talked about it last week when everybody was out there in Minnesota, right? Like, when you say you were surprised, like I would assume that given where you are in your life, and like you mentioned being married, having kids, that it probably came up at some point. Like did at any point last year you poke in and say, hey, kind of trying to get a feel for what my life is gonna look like next year. Was it you were completely caught off guard, or did you have a sense that, like, hey, it was not certain that you were going to be staying in Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the roster construction last year, we have a lot of left-handers and a lot of really good left-handers in Baltimore. I mean, Soto and Cino have electric stuff, and Aiken, I think, is one of the best left-handed relievers in the game. So I knew that, like, you always know there's a chance of that. We were a little surprised. I thought maybe it would be a pick up an option, trade you kind of thing. But honestly, I'm just really thankful for the way it has worked out because I've ended up with the Twins here, and I've just really enjoyed my time here.
Was that like I think I remember you referencing given the fact that you had been there before and your family was comfortable. Was it almost to the point where, hey, once I became available, if the Twins call, that's where I want to be?
It really wasn't even that. It was really when I started receiving offers and started kind of like me and my wife really were looking at these places, and the familiarity was a factor. I mean, the Twins turnover the last few years. I mean, when I walked in the clubhouse, I feel like I knew like almost everybody. Like the coaching staff was essentially exactly the same, and so I really just enjoyed my time there, and they were the only team to give me a minor league deal in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. So that's the only team that offered me a minor league deal. And so, you're obviously thankful for that. And, just the comfortability there was a big factor.
It makes all the sense in the world. We are happy for you. I need you to know that. We're happy for you, but it's an awkward happiness, as I'm sure you'd understand, because we miss you, man. We really, really miss you.
I'll tell you this. We went to Jimmy's Famous Seafood last night, and the guys there took care of us, got me a cake, and said, welcome home, Danny. I really appreciate that. So, honestly, me and my wife talked about it. We loved our time in Baltimore, and, the fans are fantastic. So, I'm forever thankful for it.
You picked a heck of a couple of years to be in Baltimore for what it's worth. Yeah. Decent years to be here. Danny, with that in mind, what happened last year, and I know it's not your problem, right? Like, you're onto different things, but did you have a sense for what maybe went wrong in the second half of last year that does seem to maybe still be impacting, from afar the Orioles at this point? Did you have a sense for? I know a lot's been made about these young guys that have never really dealt with like struggle before in their life, right? Like they've always been the best at all times, everything they've done, and it's like the first real adversity that they faced from a baseball standpoint. Did you get a sense for maybe what was going on and what it takes to maybe shake out of that a little bit?
I mean, there's so much talent on that team. I think the injuries have had a huge factor in that. The lineup is still one of the best in the league. And, I think it's really just a matter of time until, those guys turn around. I mean, like I saw y'all won 2 or 3 in Anaheim, and, I think that the talent is there. So I really don't know. I mean, just to be honest, I haven't really been keeping tabs on everything and, the day-to-day there, but I've just seen the record. But, I mean, the talent there does not reflect, the record there does not reflect the talent in that clubhouse. So I'm sure you guys will turn it around. Just wait 3 more days after you're done playing us.
Yeah, right. Now wait a second. Obviously he wasn't around last year, but we've seen in the last couple of weeks, like, Felix Bautista look an awful lot like the 2023 version of Felix Bautista. When you saw that, like, for the first time up close and personal, like, what did you make of it? Like, how did you react to it? And like, is there anything? It's just such a phenomenon to us every time he comes to the mound. Is there almost anything that you can compare to what it's like when Felix Bautista is in a baseball game?
It's pretty amazing to have a guy at the back end who just shortens the game. I mean, you get through 8, the game's essentially over. I would say that there's really only 2 guys that I've seen throw, like, up close in the bullpen where you're like, wow. And that was Bautista and actually Johan Duran. I mean, the way
sure.
It's a different level of fastball. I'm so happy for Felix. He's such a great guy, and he's a good teammate. And I think the thing that impressed me the most was I was down in rehabbing with him in Florida for a few months last year, and just his work ethic. He was taking every day, like, seriously. And it's easy in Tommy John rehab. You're like, I got so much time that it's easy to kind of get complacent with your rehab. And I did not see any of that. He was taking every day seriously, and I'm just so happy for him and the success he's having.
You mentioned a second ago, like, what Brandon and Mike. As you know, the baseball fans are fickle. You know how this goes, right? Like, this is the nature of it. And I'm not one of these guys, but I understand it. Can you explain, like, what your experience was like and what Brandon meant to this club as it was coming into the place that it did the last 2 years and finding how to win? Because I think it's interesting, when things go south, everybody wants to be negative and everybody wants to say, hey, this guy. But what was the role that Brandon played for your teams over the last couple of years and helping the club get to the point that they did?
I think Brandon Hyde's a great manager. I really enjoy my time with him. We had some great conversations, and we'd talk every day, and that's not the same. That's not how it is. Generally, like, relievers, we stick more to the pitching coaches. We don't really talk a lot to the managers because the managers are more dealing with position players and stuff like that. But he would take the time out of his day to ask how things were going, and I always really appreciated playing for him. He's a great manager, and I think the guys there. I know that the guys. I know that the guys there really do enjoy playing for him. I think he, and obviously Mike's done a great job of assembling a lot of talent on that team. So, yeah, I mean, I think y'all will turn it around for sure.
All right, so I'm looking. I'm like, one of the things that I was diving in on your numbers before we chatted. Like, we're not surprised, obviously, by your dominance against lefties. The numbers against righties, like, my God, man, like, how has this ended up being the case?
I feel like our catchers do a really good job here of what to call. And then it just turns into an execution game. If you know what to call and you execute it, like, I like your chances, and just throwing stuff with conviction. It's righties are, they're a different challenge a lot of times because they do handle breaking balls a lot of times. Right. So, you have to kind of figure out different ways, and, you might have to do some stuff. Like, I faced Adley the other day, and Adley is one of the best right-handed hitters in the game. He's much better righty, and so I had to. He's caught me so many times. I was kind of thinking through, like, what do I throw here?
Yeah,
I've thrown him, and so I threw him a pitch that I don't think I've ever thrown in pro ball, which is a front hip 2-seam to a righty, and I got him. And it was kind of funny because, like, he looked at me like, what was that? And so you have to, sometimes you just got to make stuff up when you're facing really good hitters like that.
Man, that's cool. I mean, it wasn't cool for us, but, like, it's cool. That chess match part of it is really cool. Like, the idea that were you thinking about that before you came into the game? Like, are you doing that, like, mental math in the bullpen as you're thinking, hey, this is the spot that I'm going to end up being in? Or is that all happening, like, as you're on the mound, you're, like, processing all of those thoughts?
Oh, it's all happening on the mound,
Wow.
like, processing it, and you're like, okay, he's gonna think I'm gonna throw this, so I'm gonna throw this, but then he's gonna be thinking I'm gonna throw that, so I'm actually gonna throw this. It's kind of like it's so funny. It's sometimes you can definitely overthink those things, so that's why it's not always my favorite facing guys I know well.
Right.
Like, O'Hearn, of course, like, after the game's like, oh, 1 for 1, like, he's one of my best friends, all-time teammates there.
Awesome. What a great dude he is, man. I love that guy. He's actually he's definitely more superstitious than you are. Like, there is no doubt about that. All right, well, wrap with this. Are you a Juicy Lucy guy, right? Like, that's the only real, like, Minnesota food stuff I know is going to get a Juicy Lucy. Are you a fan? Have you been out? Like, do you have a favorite place to go for a Juicy Lucy?
Man, I am a Juicy Lucy guy. The only time I've ever had it, though, is at the field, so I can't tell you exactly where to go.
Okay.
But sometimes they'll import some Juicy Lucies, and they're delicious.
Dude, it's hard to explain why it's, like, even better than just having a burger. Like, it's so,
no doubt.
You're just like, this just hits the spot, man. This is what I needed in my life. Danny Coulombe, dude, seriously, it's unbelievable watching what you're doing right now, man. Grateful for the time that you spent here in Baltimore and the opportunity to watch you pitch. And, we'll be rooting for you other than this week. Like, you know how that goes. But so thankful for you taking the time for us this morning, man, and continued success and health for you and for your family, all right?
Appreciate you, Glenn. Appreciate you.
So that was good timing. Right as we're coming back from that conversation, the microphone hits the it's great. Thank you to Danny Coulombe. Appreciate him spending the time with us. Good guy. And obviously a heck of a pitcher. There's no doubt about that. So appreciate him taking the time for us. And I'll never understand it. You won't get me to say, hey, this makes sense. We can do the thing where, hey, well, you have a certain amount of money. Stop. I mean, if that's where you are, is that you have to budget to the million to where you say, well, if we bring back Danny Coulombe, instead of being at, and I'm just making up a number here because I can't think of 20 million, we're at 21. What would the number be for the entirety of the bullpen?
The entire budget. So what'd they give Kittredge?
9, right? Did they give him real money?
It was real money. Was it 9? Well, I almost feel like it was more.
Was it more? It might have been more. Andrew Kittredge contract.
Oriole 10.
10. All right.
1 year, $10 million. The deal includes $9 million salary.
And there's a
$1 million buyout, but $10 million guaranteed. I don't know how that.
Does that make sense?
I don't know how to
right?
that.
I can't understand that either. But I see the same thing you're saying. So we'll say it's 10, right? Well, so what would the entire bullpen be? Like 25, 20, 27? I don't know. All right, we're losing it. Whatever the number is, if where they're at is, well, if we do this, then the bullpen costs us 30, and we've only budgeted 27 for the bullpen. Like, if that's where you're at as a franchise, it sounds really smart. It sounds like the type of thing that football people would want to do. It sounds super smart. We got to come in at this number at this position. But if the answer to getting there is it's going to cost you Danny Coulombe, then what is the point of having the budget for the bullpen? Like, there's no... At some point, you go back and say, yeah, that's going to cost us $3 million more than we wanted to, but to have a better bullpen. Now, it's easy to say, hey, Danny Coulombe on this team they're not in first place with Danny Coulombe. We can do this forever, but it doesn't make sense. We can have the conversations about big picture items. Like the people that make the arguments about, sure, Charlie Morton stinks, but he's only 1 year. Like, it's not. That's what we're talking about here. There's no justification for this. And we can say whatever we want about, well, the Orioles thought there was something about him physically that they didn't like. It's part of the game, man. And the cost isn't so absurd. They're paying Andrew Kittredge $10 million to not be healthy. We're talking about $4 million. You'll never be able to make it make sense to me. Ever.
So looking at Spot Track, trying to quickly do math, including Kittredge, it looks like about $30 million.
30
is the bullpen between Dominguez is getting 8.
That's right, he's 8.
Cano and Brian Baker are both 750.
Right. All right. We're doing too much. I want to get out of it. I want to watch the game, so I do want to wrap up. Yeah, I know. I understand. I totally get it. Thank you to Danny Coulombe for spending the time with us. When we come back in, we'll get a tidbit. We'll get Tubular to wind things down for a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Something big is coming to Maryland, but it's more than what you think. Because this year, it's more than a race. It's the Preakness Festival 150. And if there's one event you don't want to miss, it's the Magic of Maryland music celebration with DJ D-Nice. Club Quarantine 5 Live. BSO alongside conductor Igmar Thomas. Special performances by Deborah Cox, Jadakiss, Too Short, and more. Tickets are limited. Find them and see all other events free and ticketed at PreaknessFestival.com.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas combos, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious filling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
Just saw that Max is changing its name back to HBO Max because...
Why?
Because it never made a lick of sense to begin with. The thing that people associated that was like, people like the programming on HBO. There's very few, like, programming connotations that people have that are
Have you
positive,
ever...
right? But for the most part, if a show's on HBO, we think it's good because it's HBO. Like, they normally do good television shows. So it was always insane to take the HBO brand. John Colson seems to have an opinion about this. You want to say something? Like, it was nuts. Here's this brand that you...
Nike just changing.
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah. Instead of... Nike's got this incredible brand that people like, and then they make a new line of whatever, shirts, and they're like, instead of being Nike now, we'll be Joe, right? And you're like, what? Why?
Well, because it's one less syllable.
The hell is the point? And at least, like, at first it was like Nike Joe. And so the people were like, oh, right, it's Nike still. I get it. It never made any sense why they would dump the part of the brand that people like. Immediately when it shows on HBO, I'm like, well, I get it's probably... I watch that stupid industry show because that's how much confidence I have in the HBO brand to be good. And it wasn't... It did nothing for me. Other people liked it. Sorry, can't join you on that.
Come on.
But, like, it was always so
great.
bizarre. They're like, we'll just not be HBO anymore. Why? What would the reasoning be for that?
Man, I just can't believe they're tucking their tail between their legs like this. It's kind of...
No, it's the best thing they can do is just acknowledge this was stupid. This never made any sense whatsoever.
Max.
I've also said this eternally. I talk about this with WWE.
they announced Max to become HBO Max this summer.
Yeah, believe that. Believe it or not. Like when WWE would have these wrestlers with names like Apollo Crews, right? And then one day
they'd say, you're not going to be Apollo Crews anymore. You're just going to be Apollo, right? And, like, they just thought that was super smart. And I'd say, do the Google search thing. If someone searches for Apollo Crews, what's going to come up? The wrestler. If they search for Apollo,
Yeah, it's going to be like the movie, obviously.
like maybe the spaceflight program, maybe the theater, maybe a lot. Like, yes, the wrestler Apollo might come up at some point, but, like, lots of things are going to come up. And I would say the same thing when you change your name. Like, Max is a common name. Anyway,
Yeah,
I don't know
usually
why I
because it's
care.
what you look up when you look up Max.
Yeah.
Typically, you get Max Caster. And
Right, yes. 100%. Normally the first thing that comes up is the professional wrestler. You nailed it. How do you know who Max Caster
He's one of my
is?
favorites.
Yeah.
AEW, right?
Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. Let's go, Max.
You're the best.
You're really into
wrestler
it, man. I don't know what
alive.
happened to you. All of a sudden, you're super.
I mean, he is. I mean,
My buddy took
I love the bit, though.
it's a good bit. I couldn't go to AEW last time they were at UMBC. My buddy took a friend of ours, and she had never been to a wrestling show before. And he was like, dude, you would have had such a good time hanging out because she was doing all of it. Like, she was doing the Let's Go, Max. You're the best wrestler. Like, she just was super into it. Hey, we have a new partner here at GCR, and I'm going to be telling you a lot more about them in the coming weeks and months. They're called Game Day Men's Health. And I went out to visit them, and I went out for different reasons. Like a lot of men, there's a lot of things we don't like to talk about as men when we get into, like, our 40s. And I feel sluggish, and I feel run down a lot, and I don't feel like myself. And, yeah, it's easy to say, hey, that's the way it works when you're in your 40s. To some extent, that's true. But I also go to the gym every day and eat fairly well, and so it kind of didn't make sense to me. So we had a conversation. I was like, maybe I'm low T. Turns out I'm extra T. I'm super T. I'm teed up.
Is that your wrestler name?
I might be super T. I have more T than your southern grandmother does. Like, that's I just came up with a name. I'm Mr. T. We should trademark that. Look into it, see
what happens when I Google Mr. T.
Yeah, see what happens. It'd be my wrestling name. But that doesn't mean that I don't feel sluggish, that I don't deal with things. And look, there's other things that men in their 40s don't like to talk about. Like, sometimes, your performance in the bedroom isn't the same as it used to be when you were younger. Like, there's just things that you deal with as men, and you're not comfortable talking about them. Game Day Men's Health is a safe space for all of that conversation, whatever it is that's going on in your life. For me, it turns out I'm not low T, and I'm pretty. I don't need to brag, but
Hey, go for it.
sometimes I'm a sex haver, right? Like, I'm fine in a lot of departments, but not every department. And they're working with me on some things that can improve and make me feel less run down. And I'm going to be telling you about some of that treatment in the coming weeks. But if you're dealing with any of these issues, if you're feeling sluggish, if you're feeling run down, if you're, dealing with ED or, performance issues, if you're even like stubborn things like weight loss, like you're just at a place where it's harder to keep weight off or to lose weight in your 40s than it was in your 20s or in your 30s, 50s, wherever you are at this point. If those are the things you're dealing with, I'd really encourage you to go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com or to get out to Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills. This was something that, like, when it came into my world, I was like, I don't really know that it's something I want to talk about, but I want to talk about it. I want us to be able to, as men, deal with these things. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to bamboozle you, right? Like, I should probably say, I could say, like, I'm suffering from ED. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not just going to make something up in order to, try to get you to go out there. But I am feeling sluggish, and I am feeling run down. And they are working with me on how it is that I can feel more like myself. So you're dealing with any of those things. Need to lose weight. Performance in the bedroom. Just feeling run down. I'd encourage you to get to GameDayMen'sHealth.com or go out to Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills and pay them a visit. They're doing wonders for guys and guys that are of a certain age. And maybe, you're not quite of that age yet, but you're also dealing with some. That happens to guys that aren't quite as old, too. And we don't want to talk about it. Like, we don't want to, get with your buddies and be like, hey, do you not feel like a man anymore? Like, it's not a conversation you want to have. This is the place to have that conversation. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. We'll be talking a lot more about them. What you got for tidbits?
Speaking of pitchers, the Orioles did not sign. Max Fried has a 1.1 ERA. It is the lowest by a Yankees starter through his first 9 starts of a season since earned run became official. It is the lowest since 1937 when another left-hander had 1.27 ERA. It's the lowest through 9 starts by a Yankee since Lefty Gomez in 1937.
Yes, that was going to be my guess. Was Lefty Gomez.
So yeah, the Orioles don't have Max Fried. The Yankees do, and he's doing pretty good. Elsewhere, more basketball ones. Jason Tatum, who obviously
we do
was
one
confirmed.
basketball one because the game is starting. Can we speed this up?
Yeah. All right, we'll make it quick here. The top 4. Jason Tatum. It was confirmed that it was an Achilles. By the way, he had surgery yesterday.
I mean, I'm not a Celtics fan, but you just hate that for anybody.
So he will miss. He will obviously miss some time coming around next season, which means it will give some guys to catch up to him because since he came into the league in 2017, Jason Tatum had the most games played, both postseason and regular season, 706 games, most played by an NBA player in that span since 2017.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, most games ever. Most games ever.
Huh?
He's already done it. Can you round out the top 4? There's only 3 other guys that have played 650 games, postseason and regular, since Tatum came into the league since 2017.
LeBron.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bit surprising. I mean, I guess
he's missed some playoffs, I guess, and he's
not really. Like, he hasn't really missed a lot of time.
He's had some injuries in there.
I hear you. It's still a bit
These
surprising.
are like the eternally healthy guys that,
Okay.
What do you think? I'm wrong?
Yeah, so it's not Joel Embiid is what you're saying.
Actually.
Yeah, not a chance in the hell that's the case. Klay Thompson.
Not
He
Klay
did have
Thompson.
the one injury in there. But
was he Achilles as well? I think he was Achilles as well.
Was it? How about I don't know. This is so specific.
2 other guys are still
and it's got to be
in the
guys
playoffs.
that were in the league since 2017.
They're all still active.
But that's the problem is
2
knowing
guys are still currently in the
but what year did these guys come in? It's very difficult for me to figure that out. Like SGA hasn't been in the league that long. Jokic.
Nikola Jokic, number 2 on the list, 684 games played.
I'll try Jamal Murray too.
Not Jamal Murray.
How about still in the playoffs? Jalen Brunson.
Not Jalen Brunson.
How about
probably didn't come into the league.
a Cat?
No, not Cat.
How about? Oh, this is too difficult, man. We're gonna have
They all have NBA championships in this span.
They all have NBA titles.
The other 2, yeah.
The other 2 have one NBA title. Jalen Brown.
Not Jalen Brown.
Drew Holiday.
Not Drew Holiday. No other Celtics.
No other Celtics. Who else is still active? So a Pacer.
Yes.
Pacer, who's won an NBA title.
Did not win it.
Well, obviously didn't win it with them. Who am I forgetting that's won an NBA title that's a Pacer? Oh, Pascal Siakam.
Pascal Siakam, yes. 650 games played for old
Genuinely
Spicy P.
forgot that
and
Pascal
another guy,
Siakam.
teammate of Jokic, not this, no longer currently a Nugget, but he was in Orlando Magic this past season.
Oh, you think I'm gonna remember who played with the Magic this year?
But he was on that championship Nuggets team though.
God. Wagner? Was he on the other Wagner? I'm trying to. I don't know. Tell me.
Kentavious Caldwell Pope.
Oh, KCP. I didn't know he was a Magic. Honestly, I had no idea that he was a Magic. All right,
He's played most games, third most games in the
Come on,
NBA.
let's go. Tubular.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
Masson 2, it's Bailey Ober and Dean Kramer right now. Later this afternoon, Simeon Woods-Richardson against presumably Chase McDermott for the Orioles-Twins doubleheader. NFL schedule reveal, 8 o'clock on NFL Network and ESPN2.
That's why they moved the game up.
This could be a tweet. TNT and True TV, Knicks Celtics Game 5 at 7, Warriors Timberwolves Game 5 at 9:30. Which is more likely to not end tonight?
Which this
I think they're both ending, so I guess.
I do. Probably the Celtics is that's obviously least likely to end. Like the Celtics win
without Tatum.
Yeah, they're still a good team.
Okay.
They're at home. I mean, I like both series to end tonight.
Yes, I think they both end
But
tonight.
if I had to pick one, Celtics.
ESPN Panthers Maple Leafs Game 5 at 7, Oilers Golden Knights Game 5 at 9:30. Bunch of baseball. You can go to glennclarkradio.com. Is there one particular highlight non-sports?
Yeah, Survivor.
Okay. All right. So is there an actual highlight? or?
American Manhunt of Osama bin Laden on Netflix.
Sure.
If anyone's into that. Maybe if you and Reader are still doing your thing, Fred and Rose West, a British horror story.
Maybe.
Also on Netflix.
Maybe.
Recently discovered police recordings and first-person accounts tell the story of how two of the UK's most prolific murderers, did their killings.
All right. Sure.
Salma Hayek and Mel B on Fallon.
Like the Spice Girl?
Yeah.
What the hell? I genuinely don't even know what to say. I would actually, so it's Selma Hayek's promoting the SI swimsuit issue because that's what she's apparently in the SI swimsuit issue. But obviously
apparently she got a new drink as well.
On
that
Fallon,
she created,
on Fallon tonight, they're promoting the NFL schedule.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Nick Kroll and Emily Osment on Colbert.
They are promoting Thunderbolts.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
interesting.
Yep,
Good for
100%.
them. Then Celebrity Wheel of Fortune is going to be the Office themes.
Emily Osment's the one she's Haley Joel's sister, right? And she's on the Young Sheldon show that isn't Young Sheldon.
It's not Young Sheldon at all. It's Georgie and Mandy's first marriage.
But it's like from that.
Well, she was from Hannah Montana. That's how we all know her.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we as normal people.
right,
Lorraine Wilson, Ellie Kemper, and Oscar will be on the Celebrity Wheel of Fortune.
Wonderful
tonight.
Wonderful. Thanks everybody at Pressbox. Or thanks today to Drew. Thanks to Daniel Kelly. Thanks to Danny Coulombe. Thanks to Dan Szymborski. We'll get all that up in the greatest hits section of the.
Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive.
Tab at glennclarkradio.com. I like the other one, though. I am kind of bummed that you're not doing the Walking to Memphis bit. That was a good bit. But I do like that one. For now. We're not just always doing wrestling. I don't like that.
Yeah, but it's easy.
No, I don't like.
They do good.
I don't like that.
Okay, good.
Tomorrow on the program, Joe Noteboom, new Ravens offensive lineman, is going to join us.
Colin Metcalf.
Colin Metcalf, incoming Maryland transfer from Northeastern, where he was a prolific shot blocker. Going to try to help Maryland's front court.
And we'll see if J.J. Cooper thinks there's any hope for the Orioles.
Baseball America. He also has some concerns about Kobe Mayo, so we will talk to him about that. Thanks, everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including the Preakness Festival, Game Day Men's Health, Live Casino and Hotel, Cruise Maryland, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 Golf Courses, HelpMeGamblingProblem.org.
Look at that.
Costas Inn, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. No, 1, 2, 3. How about it? Good job, Dino. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks.